All right, welcome in, everybody. We are live. Knicks versus Cavs is underway. Hey, yo, and our second TV just went down as well, too. Hot start. I guess, are we jumping right in? We had some of the visuals for the last Drake album. Hey, yo, the last Drake album, this most recent Drake album. The visuals, what are we saying? We're running some of the music videos in the background. That's the professional way of saying it. We have the Drake visual... The vague visual companion package to the album that he's playing, aka where we have his music videos on his YouTube channel going. But, I mean, you know, hey, yo, obviously, I mean, are we going to talk about our opinions of the album, our review? I mean, make no mistake, the album review is always a good time. We always have a good time. We're on here listening to the album the first time. Of course, I guess, you know, hey, yo, we did the thing where we had to double back with an opinion on the Drake album afterwards. So I don't know, you know, are we going to hold ourselves to our initial reaction to the Drake album? Hey, yo. But, you know, we were talking about artist performance, sort of the way he was attacking the different songs. But I do got to say, just the way that he attacked the album as a whole, outside of the music, outside of, like, his just, you know, his lyrical sort of presence on the album, like, everything else was really fantastic. You know, watching the music videos, just the whole sort of presentation, because I guess, you know, obviously they've dropped, he's dropped a whole bunch after the album released. I guess, you know, we weren't necessarily watching those like that day of, but I guess we were, you know, locked in until really, I think today, but yesterday as well too, just kind of throwing him on and see what he had there. But I mean, just really impressive from start to finish. Again, the visuals, the world building, all the live streams and stuff. And I saw a post as well too, just breaking down the possible financials for some of the different stuff that was involved. And I mean, he was breaking Spotify, like I think the intro on his song is like, you know, the quickest, whatever, the largest Spotify's track debut. Like, he was breaking Spotify records. So make the mistake. I mean, the man's gonna make his money back. Hey, yo, it is what it is. I think he'll be okay there. But you can just see the effort in the world building. I don't know if he knew that he was going to have to take an extra step there. If he's like, well, I'm just going to, you know, go on a 7 for 10 for album performance. But, you know, some of the outside pieces of the album have really started to, you know, make the album experience as a whole, you know, a really memorable album experience. And that was the part of, yeah, maybe not the part exactly, but listening to the album the first time and just kind of, you know, it's like, I don't know how, and it's not fair to say right now as well, too, because there was a little bit of this with For All the Dogs, but, I mean, we've obviously been complimentary of that album since then as well, too, and, I mean, it has gotten to the point where it's like, oh, you know, we would want, like, the physical version, yo, like the vinyl version, like, physical media, like, that album would be, like, you know, like if we lost Spotify, like we would search that album out again and try to find it to listen to it. Like if we lost Spotify and couldn't access Iceman anymore, I don't know if I would put that like on the top of my list to go access. But since we have Spotify, and since we, you know, obviously need new music for the rotation, since it is Drake, and since there is quality songs, it is one of those things like, you know what? I don't even know if we can speak can we ever speak harshly of an album ever again? Hey, yo. And again, I'm not sitting here saying that it's skipless, that it's, you know, an instant classic, blah, blah, blah. I guess I don't, you know, balancing the criticism. We're just trying to straight down the middle. No criticism, no comments. Anyway, no. But what do we say? I mean, just the fact that there is those handful of songs that you are going to enjoy. And then again, like we're saying, just as an experience, we are going to remember the album experience. So I don't know if the album itself is going to be, like we're saying, one of those necessary pieces of work. And I know, like For All the Dogs is obviously, Chet, the YouTube is not working tonight. It is what it is. Drake's music videos too powerful? I don't know. I guess we'll just have to go watch old music videos. At this point, we'll see if Pluto can stay going and maybe pull up, I don't know, do we go best at what the smashing 70s? What do we got here for some music video channel? I guess, is that just the mood right now with New York versus Cleveland on the background? Cleveland up, as we should talk about. We are NBA journalists, make no mistake. 13-7 right now. Cleveland is up. I guess it doesn't matter because, of course, New York went just on a crazy tear in the fourth quarter of the last game. So, you know, until we get there, it is what it is. But Bridges with the little mid-range jumper, looking pretty good to start off. And obviously, you know, people starting to zero in on James Harden a little bit performance-wise for some of the stuff. But I don't know. And, it's getting to the point scrolling through Instagram with these secondary sports accounts and the thing is, Instagram now, they'll have all of the recommended posts in your main feed, which I got to say, that might be getting a little out of hand, because we love looking at sports posts from different sports pages, but there's a reason that we follow the pages that we do follow, and there's also, I would say at this point, hopefully still a legitness to some of those pages as well too. Like, for the most part, if you're seeing a post via, ESPN, you're seeing it via Bleacher Report or the NBA pages, the NFL, the league pages themselves. Like, you should know that whatever the news is, whatever the take is, whatever the reaction is as well too, is real. Because that's a problem. It's like, I don't know anymore if this random I'm saying random, again, not like a major publication like that, but this sort of like an Instagram sports page is reposting a take from a guy. Like, I don't know if they're faking a quote. I don't know what's going on, because there'll be whole pages, of course, that's dedicated to, like, we're just going to have fake takes from person. Obviously, like, Centel is a little bit like that, but, fake news and stuff like that involved there. But for NBA side of things, but, it's like, making up crazy quotes from takes and stuff. Like, I saw a take from Max Kellerman about James Harden trying to win the title, and it's like, okay, I guess I could see Max saying that, but it's like, hey, we're getting crazy here, and at some point, maybe we need to give James Harden a little respect. Hey, like, do we even say the take? I mean, again, it's actually like it's actually disrespectful to James Harden. It's to the point where it's like, hey, we're talking about basketball here, Max Kellerman. Chill out. Like, but again, I don't even know if I'm blaming Kellerman for the quote. I don't even know if the quote was real. I'm just scrolling through Instagram. It's like some secondary, I don't even remember what it's, like the sports thread. Hey, I didn't even click in to see how many followers it has. It's just like assigning this crazy take to Max Kellerman. And it's like, oh, okay. Hey, but I guess, in some respects, there are people. The point is, there are going to be people reaching for crazy analogies about James Harden, because it's been a long road of waiting for, quote unquote, waiting for him to, if we're getting to the basic sports takes of it all. If we're just putting on our sports media guy personality face and just being like, hey, our hat, and just being like, oh, James Harden, he can't win the big game. Because, obviously he is talented enough. We've said that before. It is just, can the performance line up with the game number in the series for it to be good enough? But, for the narratives that he has had, like we said going into game one, it would be a little shocking if the Cavs won the series, given the moves they've made this year, given the roster that they have, and, obviously taking that a little bit further if they were able to win the finals. But just even in the Cavs being in the finals would be crazy. And it's almost to the point where, it's like, hey, like this can't happen. Like, I can't even almost remember a team where it's like, this can't happen. Like, if the Cavs are in the finals, like, that's just bad. Hey, that's just bad. Again, last year the talk was, small markets, what's that gonna, and I guess, James Harden all of a sudden drops 35 and 12 and 6 in the finals, and it's like the best, one of the best guard final series ever. Him and Mitchell go crazy. And it's like, well, that was worth the watch. I guess that could happen. But it just, again, it doesn't seem like that. So I hate to be an NBA complaining fan, but the point is not even really to complain. The point is we're really close to like a pretty sort of mainstream situation here with the NBA, and the NBA just hasn't been mainstream in a while, if we're being honest. Like last year, I feel like it did get to that a little bit. There was definitely, a general conversation around, and it was more around the Pacers as being that underdog team. I don't know if people were, really like all in on the Thunder being the next generation dynasty, and like, not today, maybe that's just us being the Spurs fan, with Wemby waiting the wings there. But, there was obviously a recognition of the talent. But again, I don't know if mainstream culture was accepting of, again, the way the Warriors were, or no disrespect to Shea as well, too. Obviously, how many guys ever in league history have had the influence that Steph Curry has had. But again, it's not like Shea and Jalen Williams have necessarily been the Splash Bros per se there, just in terms of sort of the sway until Jalen Williams starts, until he starts dating a celebrity rapper, and then all of a sudden I guess there would be some some correlations there. Hey, yo, I guess you know, hey, yo, Jalen Williams, you know, don't get yourself in trouble there. But can we match make? Probably not. Probably not. We don't start throwing out names for Jalen Williams. Hey, yo, it is what it is. But I guess the point is, well, I guess Shea, they showed near the MP. I guess Shea's relationship. But I guess hey, shout out to Shea. Yikes. But whoa, wait, what are we saying? What are we going for? Just the celebrity of it all. So there is a real mainstream vibe with, and I think the Thunder a little bit as well too, but obviously with Wemby. And if we had the Knicks in the finals, it's just the case by making the case for the Knicks in the finals, we have to make for the case for the Spurs in the final. Like I don't know if it's a roundabout way. It's like that's the best finals. Hey yo. So we're being unbiased if we also make the case for the Knicks to make the finals as well too, I guess is what we're saying. But the point is also that the Cavs cannot make the finals. Hey, yo. That would be a real bummer. But I guess, it would be nice to see maybe James Harden have some good games. I guess, they can lose and it can still be a competitive series. We still need a competitive series. And they did show as well, I did see a stat earlier today at work, walking around on the ESPN, that the Knicks have now won 8 playoff games in a row. Oh, I guess they're showing it right there on the TV. Plus 190, almost plus 200, largest in any 8-game span. Oh, in NBA playoff history ever. Whoa, I mean, it does go back to, I think, those Hawks games as well, too, where they were winning some of those by 50-plus points. So, they have had some major differentials in there. 44-11 run to end the game. Hey, yo. It is what it is. Teams were, Chad, how do we always have stats like this? Teams were 663 when trailing by 20-plus points in the final 7 minutes of the fourth quarter in the postseason. Hey, yo. The graphic went away as we were reading it there, but I think we got it all. Let me see if I can remember. Teams were 0-663 when down by 20 in the final 7 minutes of the fourth quarter in an NBA postseason game. I mean, we had this last year with the Pacers against the Knicks, where Nesmith hits all those threes, and it's like, oh, teams had won 1,000 straight games when they were up by, maybe it was like under 5 minutes, under 4 minutes. Again, I guess we could tweak the filters to, get the exact right scenario. But still, I don't know how we have so many of these teams have never won a game in these scenarios. How do we still keep having them? Hey, yo. It is what it is. I guess unless we see one that's like next, where it's like teams have never won when down by 20 with 6.5 minutes. Like, okay, we know they're getting a little, too specific with the stats there. But 663. Hey, yo, can we do the math? How many years has the NBA been around? They just did the NBA All 75 recently. So, the NBA's been around for like 80 years at this point. Hey, yo, I guess if we just give the NBA 80 years, like how many postseason games per year is that those teams are losing? 663 divided by 80. So 8 games a year. So basically 1 game a series. Then that's the game. And I guess in a 7-game series, maybe there is a little bit of that mental factor where you're down by 27 minutes. It's like, oh, live to see the next one. But, it's like, oh, man, I guess tonight's not our night. But 7 minutes is still like a good shot. That's still like half the quarter as well, too. Down 20, especially now. I mean, down 20 now at 7 minutes, any point in the game. It's like, you hit 3 threes. Hey, that's 9 points. You're right back in it, 11 at that point. So, obviously that's not ideal, but that's, a big momentum change as well, too. Down 11 when you were down 20 is a lot different, down 11 when you were down 2. Hey, yo. But, regardless, I guess another historic scenario for New York. That's crazy. But I guess we were going to focus more on the 8-game stretch that did win. I don't know. Did they say the Thunder were the only other team that did that? Did they say that on the ESPN, or am I thinking of that on my own? Because maybe the Thunder did that. Did they do that? Hey, did they sweep the Lakers? Do we have to go back and check that out here? I want to say that the Spurs, that was their first loss. That game 1, they were 8-0 going in to the series for the thing. Chad, who's our one historic player here for Alvin Scott? Hey, yo, I feel like we have to shout him out on the Basketball Reference. We have like all modern players here in one throwback. Hey, yo. I guess, Chris Boucher, shout out Aaron Brooks, Chad, classic. Jordan Walsh, hey, yo. Jackson Hayes, but Alvin Scott, shout out. I guess the Splitter is his nickname. Hey, yo. Bone, Alvin Bone Scott. Hey, yo. Hey, yo, it is what it is. A little Phoenix run in here. Nice little role player production for our guy, Alvin Scott. Okay, shout out. We're just learning. We're just learning. Again, hey, we've seen Jackson Hayes play. It is what it is. But shout out to Jackson Hayes. But call in. Defend yourself. But what are we saying for OKC here? Did they sweep both series? Yeah, they did. They swept Phoenix and they swept the Lakers. So in some respects, I guess for as good as San Antonio has been, they have dropped a couple games in the playoffs. So OKC and the Thunder, OKC and the Knicks have been, I guess, the two top teams in their respective conferences. So hey, yo, obviously that does make us a little bit worried there if we're thinking big picture. And like we were saying, the last night's game with the turnovers was not good as well too. That's back-to-back 20 turnover games for San Antonio. That's definitely going to be a Mitch Johnson proof thing as well too. He's going to be as much learning through this series as well too. Again, I feel like for the Spurs fans, we are confident in Mitch Johnson going forward. I would not say that this is a hot seat series for him in any way. We're not necessarily like looking like, do we have the roster, but then do we need the Steve Kerr situation to upgrade? Hey, is Mitch Johnson gonna win, the good regular season games? But man, like I think we do have the confidence that he can be the guy that can, long term be the coach there. Like this is the franchise going forward. But again, for everybody, this is their first run at this involved, and he has been, I think, pretty good as well too. But not to blame everything on him as well. Obviously, there's just some mindset stuff that the Spurs players. But I mean, again, the Spurs are really talented. So when you're a talented team, sometimes you play like a talented team. Again, are we gonna compare them to the Warriors? Hey, the Spurs are like the Warriors in this aspect. But the Warriors did get a little turnover heavy at times. Now, again, the Splash Brothers are also the greatest three-point shooting, but, right up there with the greatest just shot-making in general duos that we've ever seen in NBA history. Again, not even just backcourt, ever in NBA history. Again, from a shot-making standpoint, I guess you can't, it would be difficult to compare him to, like, how would you compare shot-making to them and Shaq? I guess Shaq, is Shaq, just because it's a little bit different doesn't mean that it's not, as effective or as important. And Shaq was obviously skilled as well too. If you're gonna say, is Klay Thompson more skilled because he's hitting long range shots? It's like, maybe. But again, I would be, to me that would be a bit of a hot take to say that Klay Thompson is more skilled than Shaq. I guess is that who was the one that said that Shaq was just a big guy? Pause. Was that Durant or was that Dwight? It was either Durant or Dwight Howard. I guess maybe they both have said. I feel like maybe a couple of NBA players have said it. I feel like Shaq has also said some things about some NBA players, so that's kind of the go-to response, right? Shaq will be like, I didn't necessarily like your player performance, and then they'll be like, well, but you didn't have any post moves, and it's like, well, I guess neither of them are true. Donovan Mitchell played a good game, and Shaq had post moves, so yeah, it's all good. But what are we saying for? I guess for OKC and the Knicks, of course, they both have had the 8-game runs at this point for the playoff series. So we do have to keep that in mind as well. But the series is returning home, at least for the Spurs in the next game. So there is, that advantage there. And the crowd, of course, will be electric. And I mean, shout out to Cleveland as well too. Cleveland is one of the underrated passion fan bases. I mean, they really showed up during the LeBron era there. I mean, but how excited are you going to be cheering for LeBron back at his hometown? Like, obviously you have to really be cheering there. That's some exciting times. But the Spurs Thunder fan base battle, I think, is right up there with the on-court battle as well too. The two best, do we say the two best fan bases in the league? But you got to give OKC their credit. You got to give we're leaving out Golden State at that point. And we're leaving out Boston and New York. To me, and again, I haven't been to all the arenas and seen it in person. I'm sure the in-person experience is different. I just think on TV, I think that that Boston and New York just aren't as, and again, we're talking about the best of the best. So I'm saying that Boston and New York are like the 5th and the 6th. But, to me, they're not quite as good on the TV vibes. And I guess I'm saying peak Oracle as well, too. I guess, okay, the Warriors Arena is really good now, for sure. But the best of the best Oracle Arena days are right up there with the best fan bases just in general that the NBA's had. I guess, we haven't had a ton of major, passionate fan bases moving around. I'm trying to, because the other franchises that have been moving around, at least in our lifetimes, in a major way, have been, you got like New Orleans, Charlotte kind of moving around there. Obviously, maybe there was some Katrina stuff, but when it was with Katrina, they went to OKC. I'm trying to think, when there was New Orleans, went to Charlotte. I guess we could double check that timeline stuff. But, then there was the Hornets, and then obviously the Pelicans, and and the names switching around over there, the Bobcats for a second. I guess we get some of that stuff confused. But for Brooklyn as well too. Brooklyn has been the other franchise moved around. The New Jersey Nets became the Brooklyn Nets. But again, I guess it would be disrespectful. New Jersey was a pretty great fit. Like I think New Jersey loved the Nets. But I guess moving it to Brooklyn, the Brooklyn vibe is good. Like, you can definitely tell the arena is a really good arena, and it's like a chill vibe at the game, but it's obviously not like the crazy screaming fan, and I mean, obviously it's the Brooklyn Nets as well too. I mean, how many years have they actually had to, cheer for their team like that? Obviously, the one Durant year was the most competitive year that they've had, but that team was like a throw together team as well too. There wasn't that connective tissue for the fans. I mean, I guess since moving to Brooklyn, they haven't really had that in any way. I mean, they're trying to do it now, chat. The fan base, are they gonna rally around Igor Denim and Danny Wolf? I guess whoever else they get in the draft this year as well too. I feel like they didn't do too well in the tank off. Where they ended up at 6th, but I don't know. Will that be like something that could happen? Something like that. Who's the tall lanky guard that they could take? I guess. Kingston Fleming's a little bit. Maybe actually Wagler a little bit. The Wagler would definitely be like the best version of any player that they've taken. Though the players that they've taken the last couple of years have been different because they've been more of like the non-scoring type chat. No, but like I would say like Danny Wolf and Denham aren't necessarily like shot first guys. Like they can, in college or whatever the international situation was, run a offense in that type of way. Like Wolf could be the main scorer at Michigan, but you're thinking him more, facilitating off the ball scoring, kind of almost like bailout scoring type of situation, if you need him to get a bucket, but maybe like almost, a Draymond type of offensive game, if that makes sense, with maybe not quite the high level of playmaking that Draymond had. Again, we're talking offensive game. Like imagine an offensive only Draymond, maybe, but a little more fluid as well too. Is Danny Wolf more fluid than Draymond Green? I guess is more athletic, more smooth. I don't know, but we're really hyping up our guy Danny Wolf for the future of Brooklyn. Obviously, now that they're the 6th pick, but Wagler, anyways, just being tall and skinny, I guess kind of fits. I guess Danny Wolf's skinny, right? Hey yo. Do they go Lundenborg at 6? And just take the Michigan guy there as well too. Do they have 3 picks again in this first round? They don't. I guess Bennett Sturritz. If they want to get another white guy guard in there, but maybe I guess the top 4 is going to be the top 4. So they missed out on that. It is what it is. Can they trade Danny Wolf and Igor Denim to Chicago? Chicago might honestly do that. I'm not saying that would be worth it, but I mean, I could see Danny Wolf and Igor Denim in Chicago. That makes perfect sense to me. Matas. I mean, sorry to Matas, I guess. We hate to round out your team with, that'd be a crazy lineup. They wouldn't get any stops. Josh Giddey, Matas, Igor Denim, Danny Wolf, and then who's the 5th guy? Pat Williams just has to defend all 5 guys. Pat Williams, that's the only way Wemby wins Defensive Player of the Year, is if somebody is on Chicago with those 4 guys. Or Wemby doesn't. Is if somebody is on Chicago with those 4 guys. It's like, I had to play defense with Josh Giddey, Danny Wolf, Matas. I guess Matas can be good at defense, right? Hopefully. Hey, yo, that'd be crazy. I'm worried. Worried for the Bulls about that lineup, but that hasn't even happened yet. But who's still there for the Bulls GM? I even forget. They fired Donovan. Paxton hasn't been there for a while. Hey, yo, but it's still, it still obviously feels very much like a Gar. Was it Garpax? I don't even. We lost Pluto as well too. I guess it's just a no music video type of night. Hey yo, does that mean we have to check out for some WNBA in the background? Is that where we go next? Oh, I guess WNBA is on Prime tonight. Okay, but Valkyrie versus Liberty. We got Tempo versus Link as well too. The Link just destroying the Tempo. Shout out to the franchise, the expansion franchise. But unfortunately, I guess they don't have. Oh, no Collier tonight. I was gonna say they don't have Collier. Collier's not even playing, and they're up by 20. Hey yo, and then Sparks versus the Mercury up next. 1-3. Oh, Chad, is Cameron Brink back? Are Cameron Brink and Kelsey Plum both playing? Are we gonna be watching this game, Chad? Hey, that's a talented basketball duo right there that you have to watch. I guess I don't see any stats here listed for Brink. Maybe not quite yet, but that would obviously help the team out there for helping the record get back on track a little bit. But 33-31, 8 minutes left in the second quarter here. New York once again not having the 3-point night. They're 3 for 12. So first half collective 3-point, and that is the Cavs obviously, that the main reason they're here, like we've said, is as much as it has been, we don't want to take away from Donovan Mitchell and the performances that he's had, but as much as it has been him, it has been Strus and Sam Morrell and Dean Wade, just the random guys for three. And they have been, were the Cavs the best 3-point shooting team in the league this year? They honestly might have been. Here, let's double check that real quick. I guess I don't know if that was percentage wise or makes wise. I guess when you say that stat, you are talking percentage wise usually, not more so just volume. We do have Denver at 39. That is going to be tough to top. 39.6 as a team. Hey yo. So I guess Denver is everywhere. Okay, the Cavs weren't number one. The Cavs were 36%, so 13. So kind of mid. Hey yo. It is what it is. But I guess have they been that in the past? Do we have to are we missing something? Were they number one at in November or something? I guess that would have been right as the season started, but maybe. But 36%, they obviously, I guess just in general, still rely on that as the main part of their offense there. But for New York, again, they, I guess, have actually had a better percentage on the season at 37%, but just have not been able to sustain for the quarters. I guess I don't know exactly where it ended up at in the game, because again, they did go on a 44-11 run at the end of the game, but you do have to look at the three quarters, and maybe it is a little bit of just thinking ahead as well too about what could possibly the matchups could look like with who they could be playing there. But we have 4 3-pointers. They were 10 for 32 in the last game, so the one game on the stats here so far, 31%. So not super great to start. You have Cleveland at 32, so the reason they lost is they weren't able to crazy outdo them there. But Sam Morrell this time, can he? Oh, somebody tightened the rims. Pause. Spins right out. Bridges attacking Harden on transition. Spoiler alert, James Harden did not get the stop. It is what it is. That's like in our movie, it's like somebody's driving on James Harden. It's like, pause. Well, what kind of movie is this? But it's just like smash cut to the game after. It's like, did James Harden get the stop? It's like, no, we didn't even have to show the scene. We know it didn't happen. But stay tuned for Gar packs, chat. It is with, and speaking of fake news, I saw some news about a movie as well too that they're commissioning, where I saw that they commissioned. I don't even know if this is real. I was like almost like this can't be real, but they're having Michael Bay make a movie about the Epic Fury situation that just happened recently. It's like, I don't know. Is it the best use? Am I gonna go to the theater to see that? I don't know. But I guess I do. Probably not. But and then obviously we're not. There is a side to that I guess lives. But what are we saying for the movie side of things? It's like, are we? That's the movie that we're gonna commission right away. I don't know. But what are we saying? We need our Gar packs. We need the Gar packs movie, chat. Hey yo, does that count as do we get original screenplay credits if hey yo, what are the rules? Is that best adapted if we take it from their life? Hey, yo, if what does it say? What are the best original screenplay? Hey yo, what is the best original screenplay criteria? To see what we can get in. Hey, yo, can we write this Garpax movie and get an Oscar nom? Hey, yo. Origin of the idea. The story must be written directly for the screen. It cannot be based on books, plays, television shows, articles, or previous films. Oh, okay, so if we make it up and don't base it on any news articles, it can be eligible. Hey, yo, again, it doesn't have to be accurate. It just has to be riveting. Hey, yo, to win best original screenplay, right? It's not best translation of, you know, again, that's more adaptation. So it's just like, this is inspired by a crazy front office guy, but this is not actually what happened, right? Wink, wink. But what did it say? True stories and biopics. Oh, what's it say? Films based on real life events can qualify if they are researched from scratch and not based on specific copyright or biography. So nobody write the Garpax biography. Hey, yo, we need to buy the rights to the Garpax story. So then that way nobody can write the book before we can make the movie. Hey, yo. And then, you know, hey, we got to make sure Josh Duhamel is available as well too, apparently, or at least for casting. But the film must not be released in a commercial theater during the preceding calendar year. Hey, yo. While there is no scorecard, I guess, you know, they do apparently they do judge on how good it is what it says here. But it is eligible, so real life stories can be eligible. I guess I don't know the history well enough to know, like, you know, of the best original screenplay award. Turns out I don't have all those winners just, you know, locked and loaded in the memory. But I can't think of too many that have been based off an event like that. And I guess because maybe a lot of it is, if it is going to be based off of a real event, there is some source material that they are working off of. You know, you think of like Oppenheimer that Nolan did. You know, that is based off, obviously, the story, but, you know, based off of the book as well, too. Like, he's directly using that book as, you know, subject material to, you know, source the story from. But, you know, again, a story, obviously, like Sinners with Coogler, is just more, you know, fit in the era. You know, that obviously, you know, there is a narrative to that, you know, based in a time, more so than, you know, it being a, you know, right documentary. As well too, but just in terms of I guess Spotlight is kind of based on a real story, right? American biographical drama. So there you go. You got Spotlight as a biopic. You know, I guess you know, a revisionist biopic in some way, or, you know, obviously, you know, but the King's Speech in 2010, was that historical drama by Colin Firth plays future King George VI, who, to cope with a stammer, sees Lionel Loog? What's his name? Hey, yo, an Australian speech and language therapist played by Jeffrey Rush. Maybe Colin Firth plays John Paxton. For this, Colin Firth and Josh Duhamel would be a bit of a contrast. I'm not gonna lie. Josh Duhamel, like, kind of like a serious, like, hey, yo, and then Colin Firth just going method acting, totally serious. I don't know, but I guess the King's Speech. Because I don't know if King George VI actually had this problem. And is this like a kind of a modern story as well too? King George VI is not like, yeah, that's not like, you know, medieval times, where it's like, I guess, you know, if the King's Speech was medieval times, it might have been more interesting. But it's just like, you know, it's just like 1920 language therapy. Like, I guess that's kind of cool. But, you know, if it's a riveting story. But, yeah, I guess I don't know exactly, again, if this is real. George VI. I guess, you know, George VI was real. So kind of. So the King's Speech as well too does count. Oh, The Hurt Locker, also American war film. Catherine Bigelow, shout out there. Let's see. I guess is Crash also? I guess I don't really know too much, but a self-described passion piece for Haggis. Hey, yo. The film features racial and social tensions in Los Angeles. It was inspired by a real-life incident. Oh, in which Haggis's Porsche was carjacked. Hey, so it's inspired by the director's real life, I guess. I don't think that counts. I don't think that counts with what we're looking for. But I guess in some ways, you know, it does show the way the rules work Anyways, Gosford Park, is that a real place? Nope, satirical film. Let's see here. Shakespeare. Oh, Shakespeare in Love. That's Shakespeare. What is this, a Shakespeare play? The film depicts a fictional love affair. Okay, so it's not real. Good Will Hunting. Is that real? I don't know. Pulp Fiction. The Piano. What's The Piano? Hey, a historical romance film written and directed by James Campion, starring Holly Hunter. Hey, yo. Is this the Holly Hunter Apex mount right here? Holly Hunter and Harvey Keitel could be in our movie, maybe, chat. Hey, I guess I don't know what Harvey Keitel's up to these days. Maybe we have to check him out. But I guess he's got the vibe of a grimy front office guy. Hey, yo. And I guess speaking of grimy front office guys, I was thinking about this as well too. Does this have anything to do with Cavs Knicks being 40-40 right now? Not really. But again, it does have something to do with Harvey Keitel, giving off grimy vibes. I was thinking about the fact that we don't hey, yo, chat, we're like, oh yeah, we don't cast average looking guys anymore. But it's like there was a roughness to the guys. Like every actor now is like actually like the, hey, yo, chat, like I guess we tread lightly, but like the jawline situation of actors these days is just different. Like actors are maybe getting into a little bit more of like model face. Does that make sense? Hey, yo. Because I guess, no disrespect to the model face, but there is a little bit of a specific vibe. And obviously, again, we tread lightly. But there is a specific vibe versus, a guy, even like a Harrison Ford, which I know, hey, yo, obviously the ladies in the chat, there's a lot of ladies in the chat right now, obviously, I guess Angel Reese, she's in the chat. Angel Reese, what do you think about Harrison Ford? Hey, yo, but, for Harrison, like, he wouldn't necessarily have what I would call model face. But Harrison Ford is obviously, like, a good-looking guy, right? Everybody, hey, yo, everybody loves Harrison Ford. But, we don't cast, there's not, like, a Harrison Ford type of guy, like, in the next generation. Like, everybody's just, like, traditionally just like really like hey, yo, like Elordi's just running Hollywood right now, and hey, yo, like Elordi's just like a different type of vibe. Hey, yo, what are we saying, chat? Hey, yo, and I forget, there was something, I was listening to a Rewatchables pod and they were talking about somebody, and I was like, oh, that does sound like the career that he is having right now, and I forget who it was. I was excited about the comparison as well too. I should have written it down. Hey, yo, can I somehow think about it? Was it? It was Heath Ledger. It was Heath Ledger. I was thinking, is Elordi the next Heath Ledger? Because just in terms of the variety of roles, that's what it was. I think it was the Brokeback Mountain rewatchable was on. And I was just, again, the rewatchable is just playing like a movie. It is what it is. Shout out to the pod itself. But they were talking about, of course, Simmons and Wesley on that, Wesley Morris. They were talking about, of course, rest in peace, the great Heath Ledger. And just, the variety of roles that he's had, from that role to 10 Things I Hate About You to The Dark Knight. I mean, those three movies as like iconic movies that he's been in are, just very, very distinct performances, and kind of in some ways, like hit all different parts of cinema, where you're like, you got like the action villain intense role, you've got kind of a more, cinema prestige dramatic role, and then you have kind of a rom-com role as well too. But I was thinking like, because Elordi, of course, did just get nominated for Frankenstein as well too, which I don't think obviously Elordi is as, with all due respect to Elordi, he's not as good as Heath Ledger, but I was thinking of terms of the career parallels there. I was, there is some similarities, but there is no, I was trying to think, there's no like we're saying, Harrison Ford, shout out to Harrison Ford, but it's like Pacino. We already mentioned, like, Pacino, of course, Pacino's a good-looking guy. Like, you can't say, speaking of the rewatchables, like, they're always making fun of him. Like, oh, being in the sort of the cigar, what do you say, the cigarette-smelling all-stars for the actors. Hey, yo, I don't know what the right term is there. But, or a guy like, rest in peace, like Gene Hackman as well. Again, hey, yo, a lost era. Like, we just don't, there was just, there was a different sort of, what do you say, ruggedness to a guy back then that that you just don't have these days. I don't know. Does that mean they're worse actors? Again, you can obviously, anybody can can be a good actor. But I don't know, chat. I don't know. Maybe like Pacino had to be a good actor, right? But even like Tom Hanks. Like everybody makes fun of Tom Hanks. Like Tom Hanks is obviously a good-looking guy. But, you know, again, I wouldn't say that, you know, again, with all due respect to Tom Hanks, I wouldn't say that Tom Hanks has, I mean, you know, hey, do we have to say it about ourselves? We don't have model face. There we go. Now we can say it about everybody. But, right? But, what do you say? Like, Tom Hanks doesn't have model face. So, you know, but he still has, like, leading man face and model face. And again, obviously, you know, this is an all-encompassing conversation, but, you know, it does seem like model face is becoming leading man face, and leading man face is going away. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. But you know, or like Woody Harrelson as well too. You know, who's the next Woody Harrelson? Who's just like a fun actor. You're just like, I can't describe what's like fun about, you know, Woody Harrelson. It's like he's just like kind of shows up in every movie as a good hang, and if, you know, the lady in the movie is attracted to him, like, it kind of makes sense. He's charming enough, and, you know, there's like a smooth vibe to him as well too. Like even McConaughey, chat. Hey yo, hot take. Even McConaughey. What's this show right now that's on the Roku being promoted? The Lost Bus. This looks like just a classic Apple TV show right here. The Lost Bus. You've got two superstars, American Ferrera and Matthew McConaughey. Just like a real dramatic poster. You're like, okay, like I guess I might watch the first. If I did watch shows, like I might watch the first episode of that. But you know, I wouldn't say McConaughey has model face, but he does have leading man face. But you know, for you know, the modern guys, like you know, Chalamet. Again, Chalamet is just like a what's the term? Not perfume, check cologne. He's just like a cologne ad, just in a movie. It is like Dune just looks like a cologne ad with Timothée Chalamet in it. Hey yo, if you put Pacino in Dune, now it's actually a hero's journey. Hey yo, you put Chalamet in Dune, and then it just becomes Sauvage Dior. It is what it is. You know, Johnny Depp. If Johnny Depp is in Dune, then it's just you know, it's just a 2.5 hour Macy's ad directed by Denis Villeneuve. If Gene Hackman is Paul Atreides, then Gene Hackman is actually, you know, it's actually like, okay, I actually see the cinema vision here. It is what it is. Or I guess Brando. You know, Brando is a pretty good looking guy. I'm thinking more of Brando in The Godfather. If Brando in I guess, hey, yeah, we gotta butcher the Godfather impersonation here. Let me see if I can dial it in. I haven't watched queued up The Godfather in a minute. Hey yo, we haven't been over to LeBron's house in a while, so I haven't seen The Godfather recently. Or is it part 2 that he's always throwing on? But hey yo, if we ever get LeBron in for an interview, we got to throw The Godfather on. That would be crazy. Hey yo, obviously, you know, LeBron, Godfather 2 watch along with LeBron. I mean, we'll just give that idea to mind the game right now. Mind the game. I mean, yes, I do want to listen to LeBron talk about basketball, but I mean, let's be honest. I think his most viewed episode would be LeBron watching The Godfather Part 2. That would be crazy. LeBron and Steve Nash watch The Godfather. Steve Nash going to be like, oh yeah, that is a good scene. I do like that. Oh yeah, you know, De Niro is one of the best actors ever. He really is. It's going to be a lot of that from Steve Nash. I do feel like Reddick would have some opinions on that. Honestly, this is where we need to bring in our guy. Shout out to Van Lathan. He's out there in LA. I don't know if hey yo, we don't want to underestimate our guys, you know, our guy Van Lathan's pull over there in Los Angeles, hey yo, in the city. But can he get LeBron to do a Godfather 2 watch along? Higher Learning Mind the Game crossover? Hey yo, crossover, like an Undisputed situation. Spring Hill and Higher Learning present LeBron watches The Godfather 2 with Van Lathan. That is a bit of a title there for the YouTube algorithm, but I think it would work. Was it Spring Hill and Higher Learning present LeBron watches The Godfather 2 with Van Lathan, and maybe they bring in guests as well. You bring in, have they done director commentary for? I mean, hey yo, it's 2026. They've definitely done director comment. Who is on director's commentary? Commentary for Godfather 2. And can we get LeBron to redo it? Hey, yo, the LeBron version. The director's commentary for Godfather 2 features Francis Ford Coppola as the sole commentator? Hey, yo. I'm sure that's interesting, but this is like one of the best casts of all time. And I mean, with all due respect, Francis Ford Coppola in 2001, like, are we really? I guess, again, I guess we'd want to hear what he would say about The Godfather. But recorded this track for the 2001 DVD release, and he provides extensive behind-the-scene insight. Includes, is this on YouTube? I guess we'll have to give it a chance. I'm doubtful because, again, I know more Francis Ford Coppola now. Like, what's this, Megalopolis? Hey, yeah. I mean, I'm obviously we're just joking. Hey, yo, we're just Josh, and obviously he's a great guy, or a great filmmaker. Hey, I guess we'll have to do a little research to see if he's a great guy. But what are we saying for the director's commentary? Oh, I guess Francis Ford. We're looking Godfathers 2 director commentary. I did just watch or listen to a director's commentary of a different movie, and it did not have the. I guess it was more. I guess that's just what you call it. It did not have the director on it. Again, we. I guess tread lightly, but I guess the movie's out there and people are watching it. We're not the only ones, but I listened to the Chinatown document or the director's commentary, and it has Robert Towne, the screenwriter, and it has David Fincher on there as well too. So the YouTube recommended that, and I was like, well, I guess Fincher and Towne talking about one of the greatest screenplays ever. Like, I guess you probably do have to listen to that. And it is a lot of Fincher just going on these long rants about points, in Towne being like, actually, we didn't even really consider that in the writing, but that does make sense. And I don't know exactly what year that was. Towne may have been a little older at that point. So, again, Fincher would just launch into a point, and Towne would say something, and Fincher would be like, not quite, but, I think, yeah, but anyway, but if it leads to this. And then there was one part as well, too, where Towne, I don't even remember what he said, but he just, I guess I'm assuming he looks at Fincher. Again, it's just audio, but I'm assuming he looks at Fincher and just says, he did say this though. He said, "You remind me of Roman." And I was like, whoa, hey, yo. I was like, I don't know. Fincher just like, we're moving right off of that real quick. But, and then what else? Towne was just ripping off points in that. It was like, okay, Towne, I don't know again what year this was, but, and then there was another one as well too. We should have been taking notes. But, shout out to Fincher anyways. He was having a good time talking about the movie. But, he said something about, oh man, I forget. Was it about Faye Dunaway? Maybe we tread lightly. It is what it is. But, regardless, I guess now we're in director's commentary. Hey, yo, chat, we're washed. When you want to listen to the director's commentaries or watch director's commentary, that's how we're washed. Who does the director's commentary on Training Day? Hey, yo. I guess since we haven't been washed, we've only watched the movies at this point. I haven't thrown on any of the bonus features. That's especially when they have a second DVD. Like, if they're on the original DVD, that's one thing. You're like, okay, I guess, it's right there. I may as well click over and see what's going on. It's like, I'm going to put in the second DVD with the bonus features and watch, like, but, deleted scenes and stuff. Like, they're cool. I remember watching that stuff as a kid, bloopers. Hey, yo, you get like the gag reel is, hey, yo, pause. But, you get the goof reel is some of the mess up stuff is pretty fun as well, too. Again, just the general deleted scenes. But director's commentary has not been something. And making ofs are a little bit different, because, of course, it is, it's just like its own sort of piece of movie. It's its own documentary in a way, but maybe it is sort of maybe it is like the podcastification of it all, where now that is actually like something that we're into. And I guess listening to it is different than like, I'm gonna sit down and watch the movie with director's commentary. That would, I guess, be crazy, but listening to it is different. And I guess in that one specifically, again, Fincher and Towne are talking enough to where, and maybe they tell him as well too, like, you can't let the movie scenes like play out for too long, but they're talking enough where it does work as just its own audio thing. But I'm assuming that happens for most of them. You can just generally listen to it. So that maybe that needs to be a thing. Honestly, am I just throwing out ideas here, chat? Hey, yo, Universal, like, movies. Which movie studio out there? I guess it has to be movies that are releasing, because they're not doing that now with movies as well too. Or maybe they need to start doing that with movies as a podcast. Hey, yo, director's commentary. Like, imagine if, I guess, and they would just to do it eventually because they still release DVDs. Like, I was gonna say, like, imagine if HBO was doing like their 2025 lineup for their director's commentary. I'm trying to get the Sinners, Coogler, Michael B. Jordan. I guess who's got to be on that? It's definitely got to be those two, right? Because Coogler was the writer director, so you take care of both of those. You could definitely have the cinematographer as well too on there. That is one of the best, literally one of the best performances in the movie is the cinematographer of the movie. It's a great looking movie. Or Ludwig as well too. MBJ, Ludwig, and Coogler talking about the movie. But I was gonna say I feel like Delroy Lindo on that would be really, really good. I feel like if you had Lindo, and I don't know how often you bring in actors for a director commentary, but if you had Delroy, I would just call him by his first name. If you had Mr. Lindo, Michael B. Jordan, and Coogler on that would be pretty sick. But again, I assume, and they already had the DVD release to that, so I assume that there is, or is director's commentary like a bonus feature that you only get for anniversary DVDs? Hey, yo, I guess we'll have to, next time we're at Walmart, we'll have to go check out the back of the Sinners DVD and see what's going on. Do we have to drop the big bucks, chat? Because I don't think, I guess that would be crazy. That'd be crazy. I mean, again, it would be good for us if for some reason we found it already in like at like the DVD store or something like that, in a secondhand situation where it would be a little discounted. But again, I don't know why somebody would have gotten that movie and already moved on. The only thing would have been like they had gotten DVDs, but then they were getting rid of all the DVDs. So they're like, well, I guess we just got this one we got some of these within the past year, but we're getting rid of all of them. So it is what it is. And then we happened to wander into the store at the right time. But I feel like a 2025 DVD in general as well too. Yeah, is that gonna be hot? That's hot off the market, hot off the press. If that lands in the DVD store. So we'll have to keep an eye out. We may just have to commit and get it, because if we get that, we're getting pretty close. Chet, the collection is almost complete. No, it would never. I guess complete is obviously subjective, but it would be in a good spot. It would be in a good spot, I tell you. Hey, yo, that's for sure. But again, that would be interesting. Or like we're saying, re-release all of the old directors' commentaries as a podcast. I feel like that would be something. Like, yes, would that take away in some ways from wanting the DVD? Like, how special is the director's commentary for these DVD fanatics? Hey, yo. Because I feel like it is, one, just owning the movie. You have, obviously, the ability. You just have it. So, again, if Netflix just collapses, then all of a sudden it's like, well, hey, yo, I've still got, like we're saying, I've still got Cradle to the Grave locked down. Does Cradle to the Grave have a director's commentary? And then I guess, hey, yo, oh, chat, IT, cut out our DMX impersonation. Cancel us now, chat. Hey, yo, is that Dikembe or DMX? What voice was that? Hey, yo, is this a new game show? Guess the impersonation. It's I guess it's either DMX or Dikembe. It just depends on the lyrics. Does Dikembe have any lyrics? Rest in peace to both of them. Legend's gone on before, but but can we get DMX on the director's commentary for Cradle? DMX and Gabrielle Union talking about Cradle to the Grave, and Jet Li. Let's bring Jet Li in as well too. I don't know why we'd leave him out, but can we all three of them maybe? I guess who else is that? Anthony Anderson in that movie. Hey, yo, Anthony Anderson, just maybe he walks by the room at some point while they're having the director's commentary. It's like minute 35. Oh, Anthony Anderson pops in. It's like, well, what's he doing there? But I feel like I feel like I'm not crazy. I feel like that is something, because again, it already exists. It already, like, all of those already exist, and you have the names as well. Like, you're not booking anything. You're not scheduling. You're just making the commitment to drop them in that fashion. And I think you could still do like a weekly drop, or you could do like season, or 2 to 3 times a week as well too. Like, you could run it like a real pod, but you're just dropping directors' commentaries of movies. Like, I'm not even joking. I would genuinely listen to that. because, you know, again, I'm not buying all, you know, hey, yo, this is my way to not spend money. So, you know, this is how they're not going to do it, is because I'm already admitting that I'm not going to buy the DVDs. But again, I'm not going to buy the DVDs. So maybe I would, maybe if I like really, really enjoyed a director's commentary, I'd be like, well, I'd be a little bit more inclined to, I have to own the director's commentary for, you know, Harlem Nights or something like that. But that would be a crazy one. See, you never know as well, too. Do you have some movies like that that's like, you know, Harlem Nights didn't have the best score? I guess, again, does every movie get a director's commentary? Yeah, probably not. But does Rebound by Martin Lawrence have a director's commentary for that one? But, for some of those where maybe the score wasn't great, but again, it's like, if somehow it was like Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy talking about Harlem Nights, now we're just making it, unfortunately, we're making up an AI pod. Somebody's going to make this an AI. It's going to be like, well, Harlem Nights didn't have one, but here's AI Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor talking about it, which actually doesn't interest me at all. Maybe I click on it to see, you know, what the setup is, but, hey, yo, we're not going to say, like, let me check this interview out and see what are their opinions on Harlem Nights? What's AI Eddie Murphy's opinions on Harlem Nights? No. Hey, yo. But I guess, would we... Like we said, we only want to watch AI basketball games. That's it. AI simulations of legends play. You know, we watch AI. We might actually watch like AI, AI George Mikan versus just AI Hakeem just shredding George Mikan apart. It's like, let's settle this once and for all. And just Hakeem just dunks on him like 6 times in a row. It's like, oh, the George Mikan state sues the AI company. They're like, you didn't port, George Mikan's traits, his attributes were way off. Like his strength setting was too low, whatever. What do you say? Like the modern day correlation setting didn't have it quite right. The 40s game didn't to adjust right to the modern time. Hey, it's like, well, that's Mikan's fault. Hey, yo, you gotta evolve. Hey, yo. But what are we saying, chat? We're way down the path. I guess, what's the score at halftime, chat? 53-49. Cavs up on top. So, Cleveland, I guess they'll win 5, right? They'll get one in Cleveland. But Mobley tonight, 14, 5 for 8. So, if anything, some good Mobley offensive performances would be encouraging for the Cavs to see. Again, I think them being in this spot, it's like, oh, okay, good season. Good season. Obviously there has been title expectations in the past for this team in some ways, but I don't know for this year. But Mobley, anyways, obviously he's still going to be, a foundational piece going forward in terms of, he'll be a main part of the roster, and his importance on the team. Like, he could elevate that with his good play there as well too. But Strus 0 for 4, not helping out for the first half, but either way. And yeah, I guess Brunson 1 for 6 as well, but the rest of the team carrying. Towns 13, Hart 12, and Bridges 10 so far in this game. But I guess we'll go to break. We'll be right back. Second half of maybe the second half of Cavs Knicks. I don't know. We're not paying close attention, but we'll do our best. Up next. Okay, we are back. Second half underway. New York is up by 2 for now. Mitchell shot up. Oh, airball. So, yeah, they are still up 2. But before we get too far into the second half, IT reminded us we do have a shout out that we do have to make here. We have to shout out SWV chat. Hey, yo, for, I guess, a lot of reasons. But for one reason, because they were the group that Drake sampled on one of his songs on the latest album, Iceman. And I gotta say, the sample might be carrying the album at this point. We were mentioning a little bit earlier, the sort of cycle that we maybe can have with these albums of the instant review, but then the songs sort of stick it in rotation, and obviously sort of the just where it sort of falls in the discography. But it's like, okay, these can still replay in the Spotify playlist as well too. So maybe we need to chill out a little bit there. But in terms of the real, if we're talking the real songs, hey yo, because again, I think there's a bunch of songs that I added in because again, they're new songs, they're fun to listen to, it keeps the rotation fresh. But if it's okay, which ones are the real instant ad, golden buzzer situations, I guess, because what's the difference between the golden buzzer and the real buzzer? I guess because do they have the golden buzzer the entire time, or is it one round specifically they have the golden buzzer? I don't know, but it's it's which ones are the real instant, this is an actual classic compared to everything, more so than just right now type of situation. And the sample on the first part of Too Hard for the Radio might be the best Drake sample that he's had in the 2020s. I don't know. Hey yo, we're definitely getting a little bit crazy there with the takes, but he has had quite a bit of music obviously since then. And I would say that Champagne Poetries would be, if we're just talking, I guess, and he's probably sampled a lot as well too, so remembering which beats are samples and which ones just kind of obviously give that as well. But we're talking, CBL, Honestly Nevermind, For the Dogs, Iceman, Maid of Honor, Habiti, but also Dark Lane demo tapes, and there's Her Loss as well too. Oh, Her Loss, chat. Hey yo, I mean, if we're talking best samples of the 2020s for Drake's, for Drake, is it on Her Loss? Let me see what the sample credits are here for this album. Ayo, Rich Flex contains a sample score of Invasion of the B-Girls, Privileged Rappers, Major Distribution. Ayo, Hours in Silence. Oh, that's right, but I don't think Hours in Silence, the beat, is sampled. I think there's just a vocal sample situation there, but that beat is pretty crazy as well too. And they do have the Cameron sample as well in Middle of the Ocean. Is that song have a sample as well? Let's see what we got here for the track. What track number is that on the album here? That is track number 6 on the album from Dipset's album. Contains samples of We Cry Together. That's right, the OJs. Hey, yo, I was going to say the OJs, chat. Hey, yo, the rest in peace, the Jews. Hey, but what are you saying? I guess it contains samples from that song. So the song that Drake used would have obviously contained that sample as well, too. So that is up there. The OJs, Circo Loco, chat. Hey, yo. But I guess, again, the beat on Champagne Poetry is pretty crazy. And then, I mean, first person shooter, obviously, that would have been up there. If that song just didn't get completely and absolutely neutralized, then that beat definitely wouldn't have been up there. And like we said, we love the actual sample song for that as well too. I mean, that song put us onto that sample song. We were like, oh, what's this? This is crazy. But obviously that is up there as well. But SWV on what are we saying? Too Hard for the Radio. Let me double check what song that is as well too. I mean, I just need to just start at album 1 and just go through and just listen to everything. But it's got chat, ayo. We may have to look this up here and see what we've got going on. Either way, we have to shout them out. But let's see if we can get an actual source on what we've got here. That's What I Need is the song that he uses by SWV 1992. So, hey, yo, I don't know if we can play it, chat, but, oh, man. Hey, yo, they cooked. Who was the producer on this for this track? Hey, yo, do we have producer credits here at all? I don't know if we do, chat. Hey, yo, we might have to go to the Spotify to find that one out. Or is it over here? I guess it might be over here. Let's see. 2 hour for the radio. OZ, Ben 10K, Carrie, and Pilo are the producers here. Paulo Rodriguez. So yeah, they were cooking with that one. And the beat switch is good as well too. Unfortunately, we did see a post online about somebody comparing his cadence on the second half of that beat switch to the same cadence as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song. So Drake is basically like, rapping Fresh Prince lyrics on the second part of it. But yeah, the first part does cook. And he is actually like kind of like going, he is like giving some melodic vibes on that track as well too. Some of the melodic stuff that he was doing on the album, like some of the cadences and inflections going back on, like some of that stuff was working. It really was just when he was going to like rap. He just never got into that second gear, unfortunately. Like he did actually, like we were saying before, he did get there on For All the Dogs. Like you could see a couple of moments, and again, first person shooter mode being one of those moments, of course. But even on the songs leading into that, like, Fear of Heights before that, right? And then it's Fear of Heights and then Daylight right before that. But he's just bringing a little bit more of energy on those tracks. Dust is another one that I've been listening to as of late. But I think Too Hard for the Radio is really the main one. Again, that first half sample, anyways. The 90s. I mean, again, 90s R&B samples are always gonna be top notch. But the part on Dust where let me see if I can remember it now as well too. I just feel like he would have attacked it a little bit better back in the day. With it blowing the dust off your plaques, blowing the dust off. What's the part where he? Am I gonna have to mute and listen to this for a second? I feel like it's more at the end of the verse. What was the year they said you had slaps? Because I don't remember nothing about that. Again, he's got something here to start. This track is definitely a good track for sure. I don't know if I'm gonna remember it. Looking through the lyrics. But I think maybe it's just the dust off your back. I just feel like he would have attacked it a little bit more aggressively back in the day. And then even like the let's go, and then but the rhyme scheme on this one is one of the better rhyme schemes as well too. When he's like the BTC crypto big timer, corporate America hit survivor, real big heart, but I'm a tough guy though. Like that is like that's like a good cadence that he's using there compared to, again, we gotta watch Fresh Prince. They moved the Fresh Prince time around on BET, and we haven't been able to watch it since we've been able to, when we've been getting off work. So I guess we need to remember to throw it on beforehand. But, obviously I remember the beat more so than, we should know the words, chat, though. It is what it is. It is what it is. But, I mean, what song do we even... I always think of that challenge where they're like, can you name... Like, if you had to sing a song word for word. I'm like, I don't know if I know any songs word for word all the way through. Like, I know a lot of songs, a lot of the words. But do I know... Could I completely sing a song all the way through and not mess up? Like, that would be close. Like, honest... I think I've said before, honestly, Not Like Us might be up there. Like, I guess not unfortunately, but just, that... I guess unfortunately, for the Drake fans out there, but that song would be one. That song would be one. But again, I'm not confident that I could actually go through it without messing up. Like I don't know if that exists. I don't know if there is a song, like a real song. I guess, but some of those. I was gonna say some lullaby, but some of those like kids songs, like has like a sneaky verse. You're like, what's this third verse on "Mary Had a Little Lamb" that nobody ever told? Like, are you just making this stuff up? Like, what is this? But now we're just listening to the album, I guess, at this point again. And maybe I'm not remembering the right track as well too. But there was just a couple of parts where I'm just like, I think he would have just attacked that a little bit better. But Firm Friends as well, the conductor, Conductor Williams on this was, of course, a big part of the Scary Hours edition For All the Dogs. And this beat is definitely in that lane here. And, Conductor definitely cooks again with this one. So this has been another, like, okay, this is a main rotation one as well, too. Like we're saying, National Treasure, the second half of National Treasure as well. I don't know if this one does have sample credits, but it is definitely kind of giving a little bit of a 90s R&B type of vibe, and that definitely is pretty good as well too. But SWV, AO chat, they are carrying this album anyways. They're not carrying the album, carrying the song with the sample that they use there. It's definitely good. And Kendrick did use that sample, of course, on Heart Part 6 as well. So I don't know if there's a direct sort of, how is it even a diss, sampling the same artist? I don't, sampling great artists, but, it may be a little bit of a, pay attention situation, because of course that song is supposed to be like that West Coast bouncy type of track, but, he is trying to obviously, show his ability to take all these genres, but his ability to, perform in all of these different sub versions of rap, and, the one that, of course, Kendrick has pioneered now and brought into the mainstream in a different type of way. He's like, oh, let me try to drop a hit on that. But again, he definitely cooked on the first half. Didn't quite get there cadence-wise in the second. Like, it's still, like, the beat itself still does work. So, it's fun enough, for sure. Again, for now, it works. Again, is it going to be a #1 hit? Is it going to be, top 10 Drake song of all time? I don't know about that. But, definitely good rotation ad, for sure. But, with them being sampled on Heart Part 6, and then Freddie Gibbs used them as well, too. I was trying to remember what song that was. I'm just going to go on the set and see if we can get to the album here. Is that song a sample? Maybe not. If not, we can just look up Freddie Gibbs' page, and see. But he used them in You Only Die Once. So was that album 2023 at this point? I guess I forget exactly what year. Maybe 2024. It was kind of at the end of the year. But and I need to revisit that album as well too. That is definitely sneakily, one of his better projects. But it did, like, a lot of people did listen to that. At least a lot of people in our circle anyways, compared to some of his other projects. Like, that's kind of people starting to know him a little bit more. So, there is like a little bit more of a familiarity, at least again in my circle, where it's like if I queue up a song here, maybe there's going to be a notice. And same with Alfredo 2 as well. Again, that was definitely a little bit more in like some of the rap caviar in stuff. But here we go. Here's the album. You Only Die Once. 2024 was the release date. Let's see. I guess he sampled Tony in It's Your Anniversary. But and the 112 in Ruthless. That's a good sample as well too. I mean, this album is definitely a great album. But I'm pretty sure. Does he not? I thought he did. Am I mixing? Maybe it's the 112. I guess, a different situation, but still 90s R&B. Three. It's not even three letters, Chad. It's 3 numbers for 112. Does Freddie Gibbs sample SWV at all? I don't know. But either way, for Kendrick, they definitely work there. So at least 2 that I could think of for this decade in mainstream projects that have been good. Did Corday? What am I thinking of? Definitely not this song for sure. But if we can get into the album here for Corday as well. The webpage not being helpful with the sample searches. Maybe he didn't sample him as well. I'm feeling like there is a third that they are. I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to really dig through the playlist and see what is going on. No, he didn't sample. He used Barbara Mason, Vandross, the Fugees, 96. I guess he didn't really use any 90s R&B in this album too much. But again, it definitely works there for that Drake album. So Too Hard for the Radio is definitely going to be, a mainstay rotation player for now. And again, we will definitely let the second part of the song play out because, it's still good. I guess we can't skip back every time, but I'll definitely loop back the front part quite a bit. So I don't know. I always don't know how that counts for like the end of the year situation as well too. If I skip back, is that one play for every song, or do I have to like let it do the repeat thing, or do I have to, is it just every time I queue it up and then once I queue it up and keep replaying it? Like, is it I queued up this song 55 times, but again I replayed it maybe 7-8 times each time I queued it up? I don't know, but either way, that's definitely gonna carry the listen time so far, carry the that song's gonna be high up in the year-end rotation. It's already gonna be way high up for songs replayed for the year. But yeah, definitely one of the best so far that has been used. And maybe this year hasn't been like a crazy year for sampling that type of thing as well too. I'm trying to think amongst the mainstream ones like A$AP Rocky, Don Toliver, Yeat's album. Like obviously all great projects, but just a little bit of a different sound there with that type of sample. So there is, and like we said as well too, in the moment, like there is some production stuff that is definitely really good. It's just the artist performance definitely could have taken it to another level. But again, there is enough that at the end of the day, thankful to have good music in the rotation. It is what it is. We can't complain too much. But for just again the experience of the album, there is enough memorability. Not memorabilia, rememberabilia. Things you remember about it, chat. Put it in the dictionary. A new word, rememberabilia. I don't know if it's gonna. We may have to ask somebody how to pronounce it, but I think there is something there. But for remembering, again the event around it, it's definitely gonna be good. So in some ways, again, we were talking about just the fact that they were dropping so much music was a contrast to Kendrick. Kendrick dropped, I think, his shortest runtime project yet, and Drake and J. Cole both dropped. Jake Cole. Who's Jake Cole, Chad? I think Jake Cole's just a guy. But shout out to Jake Cole. If there's any Jake Coles out there, call in. But J. Cole is, dropped a double album, and then Drake dropped 3, maybe for different reasons. Getting out of the contract could be one of them. But regardless, still dropped a ton of music. But also, again, the rollout would have been completely opposite in that way as well, too. Like Kendrick drops a surprise album in the middle of the day, and at the end of that is going to be a pro Kendrick factor in some ways. And I mean, it's a like how many people are going to actually tune into an album based on a rollout? Like it could definitely be effective for sure, but there is probably going to be a certain again fan base obviously that is going to be there as well too. But in some ways, Kendrick, again, already had the sneaky rollout. Like he had, people were waiting, on the move, and there was rumors of an album as well too. Like Kendrick, I think there is, his rollouts are just different. His rollouts are different. Like he'll be like, this person says this thing about this, and it'll go through the news, and then all of a sudden, at least the hip hop world kind of knows about, like, oh wait, did you hear that this album might be dropping? Oh, this person said they were listening to new music, because there was, buzz with the West Coast guys at that time that, again, it was like, oh, new music is happening, just stay tuned. But for, again, like actual billboards and marketing techniques and things like that, it's just a different strategy. So Drake did just go opposite in that type of way. And again, it was effective. The marketing stuff was very effective. Unfortunately, the YouTube not working tonight, but for some reason. But the music videos do seem to be successful as well, too. It is kind of interesting to see, the view count on it being such a different place than it was back in the day. On some of like those views eras and Scorpion music videos where it's just like, oh man, this is like, and YouTube music videos were different back then as well too. Like I just don't think that the algorithm is, and even just the conversation is driven to those things. Like people were, I remember when honestly the Gods Playing music video, well actually it can't be, because the Not Like Us music video is in there now as well too. In the Family Matters music video when it dropped, the stuff that was dropping in the battle, but the Not Like Us music video when it dropped was definitely the like conversation about, again, that type of a thing dropping. But the God's Plan music video was crazy, of course, and I just remember that dropping in the conversation around that, and that single being huge, obviously, but people talking about like, oh, he's just, I remember it was like an urban legend at the time. YouTube, it wasn't like difficult to access in 2018, but I guess for some reason we just didn't queue up the music video right away, but it was like an urban, like Drake's giving out money on the street in the music video. And it's like, oh man, no, he's just, how much cash did he give out? And it's so, and then the singles going crazy. But that was, there was hype around that. Again, I don't want to, I'm probably missing one. And if I am missing it, I think it goes to prove that it maybe is a little bit more niche than it was like, there's mainstream conversation around this. But, I guess, unfortunately, he wasn't maybe necessarily able to generate mainstream conversation around those, the music videos, which, again, maybe is like a random sort of thing to point out. But I think it does go to, a little bit of the peak of the power sort of thing. But I mean, his streaming number is going to be crazy on Spotify here, and it's already up over, I think 90 some mil, back in the top 10. Like, he's definitely going to, have a boost of people checking out the new music for sure. And then what that's going to do to, of course, people revisiting some of the old stuff as well. And, people talking about the stats of all the songs charting and stuff like that. Like, it is, again, I think that is also part of the drop as well too, is even if the music, I'm not saying that he doesn't want to drop music that is not going to sustain. Maybe with, again, Habidi and Maid of Honor, there is a little bit of, if we were to give him the benefit of the doubt, maybe there is a little bit of an ulterior motive there. But, regardless for, I'm sure the visual of seeing him dominate the charts in that way is a part of the strategy as well too. He's like, because he knows, again, that people are going to be checking out that stuff, and just what that's going to do to the charts, and having all that music up there is just gonna look insane. But again, maybe the Iceman is the one that is gonna sustain. But in listening to some of the initial NFR reaction as well too about it, shout out to NFR Pod, they did say, one of the things I heard about it was saying that they didn't seem like there was gonna be like a #1 hit sounding type of song on the album. And in some ways, I guess I do maybe respect Drake a little bit for that. Like, it does seem like it, just in terms of, again, the beat selection and what he was going for in song approach, it was, I guess, some of the melodic stuff maybe is quote unquote hit attempt, but he is also an R&B artist on the, he is a guy that'll sing as well too. So, for, sufficing his fan bases, but also just what he does as an artist. Like, there's just going to be different types of songs on his albums. But it is a little bit more, hip hop focused. And he always is, like, in the genre. It's just, so, like, Hotline Bling just gets crazy successful. Goddess Plain just gets crazy successful. But those are still, genre songs as well, too. It's not like he's making pop music per se, but he does get there as well, too. Honestly, I would say, like, Take Care is probably as poppy of a song as he gets. What's the other song that he has with, is Too Good? He has a song, maybe the song, and I guess Rihanna, is obviously, obviously hip hop adjacent as well too, but definitely maybe a little bit more of a pop artist as well. If you had to say what, R&B, I guess, that would be, Ayo, but definitely more of a pop artist for sure. So Drake probably just playing more into the genre when he's collabing with her there, back in the day. But those songs really are the ones that feel like pop songs. Maybe Take Care, just because, again, of some of the minimalism of some of the songs as well, too. There is a little bit of a pop element. But outside of that, it really does get pretty hip-hop focused, and especially in the 2020s as well. Like, even if he is, again, playing into newer music sounds and these different genres and stuff, like, it is still all within the realm of, a hot take. But, again, I don't think he's, like, aggressively he's not, like, Post Malone over here. But for at least that overall sort of just commercial vibe, just sort of the conversation around the album, it is like a 98% of maybe like a 97% of what it was back in the day. Maybe 95, I don't know, 95% of what it was back in the day. But again, it is still, if you're locked in and looking at it, it is still memorable. And it'll be interesting to see as well too. Memorial Day weekend, you've got an opportunity to cue some of the songs up into the playlist. Are we gonna be playing Too Hard for the Radio at the while we're grilling, chat? Just people are going to get annoyed that we keep how many times can we skip back and replay the SWV sample part of it before people notice? We're going to have to get really good at timing that skip back so it like so the sample keeps looping kind of seamlessly. Ayo, we're going to be like Spotify DJs. But you know, Spotify trying to, you know, change the logo to the disco ball and, you know, really make it a DJ app is essentially what it is. I guess I don't know what the move was there. And I did see some reports that they're like, don't worry, we're changing it back. Hey, yo. But I guess I didn't even see, was there backlash? They're like, apparently there's backlash to the Spotify disco logo. Like, I guess there is, just, and not to be, oh, you know, the internet hates everything. But you're like, okay, at some point you do have to realize that also you're just going to get made fun of in some ways for everything that you do. So, you know, if you want to have the disco ball as your logo, just do it. Hey, yo. Like, who really cares? But I did see somebody say that it was, like, more difficult to see on the homepage. And I do kind of see that as well, too. Like, I don't know, you know, we're artsy over here. I've got the colored, well, hey, yo, maybe I gotta be careful how I say that. But, you know, I've got the custom, I should say, the custom, what do you say, icons, where it's, you know, just a different tone than just the basic icons on the screen. But the Spotify, it's because there's like a shimmer and stuff on it. I don't know. It does get lost in there a little bit. For some reason, it doesn't stand out as much as just the flat icon. And honestly, looking at the screen as well too, you know, everything is still basically that. I saw I saw a picture of what's it, OTF, Lil Durk's gang. They like released their new logo. Hey yo, can we look this up real quick? And apparently they were like, they did a little corporate minimalism rebrand. Let's see if we can look this up here. New logo. I guess we have to. Oh yeah, here we go. See the old logo. You know, it had a bit of that, you know, sort of graffiti paint stroke, sort of Canva, you know, graphic design font situation, which is good, I guess, when you're starting off as like a local gang. But now that, you know, Lil Durk's national as well too, they've obviously rebranded. I guess, you know, it does kind of lose the O situation. This does look a little bit kind of like a backwards P maybe. Hey yo, is that because Lil Durk's in prison? Oh, Chad. Hey, we didn't have to say it. We didn't have to say it, but the F definitely does get there as well too. But yeah, so you know, Spotify I guess goes the other way, and they decide to, you know, get a little 3D with the logo, but apparently that's not right. They're like, nope, we're still on the corporate minimalism here. And you know, the NBA is definitely gone there as well. You know, everything's just every logo is just a basketball now. Everything's just a circle at this point. Everything looks the same. You know, obviously the character of old logos back in the day was great. And again, I think this is, I do kind of like the character of the old OTF logo. Like, I get it. Again, it does feel corporate. It does feel like if you're gonna, you know, what if you're going global? I don't even know what they're going national, chat. Hey yo, like, you know, if you're gonna take the gang to the next level and, you know, present this, I don't know, in like, what are they presenting the brand in? I guess they do have merch and stuff, right? Like, do they have hats? Maybe like an OTF hat. Do they have like a website? Hey yo, official OT. I guess that would be crazy. That would be crazy if we're just walking around with. I mean, chat, we're just asking for it at that point. But I mean, I guess it's just, you know, I guess if you're committed, you're committed. So then if you're wearing the merch, you're committed. Hey yo. So IT, cut out the part where we said we want a hat. We didn't mean like we want to, you know, we're talking about, you know, the fact that they're corporate branding. Like, why would they be corporate branding? You know, where are they applying this logo to? So obviously it's a hat, but or, you know, a T-shirt or something like that. Hey yo, you know, OTF T-shirts. I mean, again, this is crazy stuff. But what are we saying for you know, for Spotify? Anyways, you know, the character's fine. I like the attempt, honestly. I'm going the other way, chat. Keep as well. Do we have sort of a comparison here? But I mean, you just see it. Ayo, the Sonics, the Warriors, the Magic, the Jazz, I mean, the Grizzlies, you know, a little simple, but still something going on there. The Blazers, I mean, you know, again, there is just something to the way it's laid out here. Like, you know, you could strip everything away and just be like, okay, you know, we're just showcasing this sort of Blazers icon, you know, boom, again, corporate minimalism. But, you know, there is something to the black sort of patch here in the Portland Blazers font, and, you know, that into the slanted situation. Like, it just gives it a little, like, it gives a little character. Hey, I guess there is, you do see some similar patterns. Of course, again, the Phoenix Suns, I guess, have the similar situation going on here. It almost looks like a trading card as well. But, again, it fits the vibe. It fits the vibe. The Kings, the Kings, the Magic, the Mavericks, the Nuggets. Again, there is some similarity here. The Milwaukee Bucks, but I don't know. Maybe it's just the nostalgia for the era as well too. The Timberwolves, and you see some of the NBA teams, I guess, going back to it with the alternates. Like the Cavs they ran with those alternates. The Timberwolves ran with those alternates in the playoffs as well too, which definitely are good. The Milwaukee rebranding is not bad. I would say that they maybe have upgraded a little bit. Again, the fact that they actually put Cream City on their jerseys is different, but the actual colors and the way that the aesthetic of everything is cool. The Milwaukee Bucks aesthetic right now is pretty good, I would say, for where it's been in the past. The red in the I don't know, the red and the green just didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. I don't know if that's a hot take, but there is some fun Bucks era guys there though. I don't know, maybe not a lot. I guess cuz they were more like purple and green with Ray Allen. And then maybe even more, 80s and 90s as well, too. Some of the 80s and 90s Bucks teams were kind of fun. We might make a little 80s, 90s Bucks revisit at some point. But, yeah, I think their rebrands kind of works. Like, Phoenix has obviously, I think, done some good stuff with the Valley branding. Has definitely been effective. Again, San Antonio's updated Fiesta branding has been pretty good. The Bobcats, with all due respect to the Bobcats, I mean, they were one of the worst teams, but that is also just one of the worst aesthetics. Like, I might have to turn the screen off at this point. Like, that is bad. Hey, for some reason the orange and the blue does not work. It is what it is. I mean, it works in sports because, again, like New York, it works for New York. It works for the Broncos. But the way the Bobcats had it was, I don't know. Again, maybe it's just because they won 12 games a year and it didn't look good. But can we look up Bobcats jerseys? Does anybody wear a Bobcats jersey? You never see this. I've never ever seen one in the wild. Hey, I guess now that I'm looking at it, the all orange one is kind of cool. Maybe that would look good on the street. I don't know. Is that Adam Morrison, chat? Hey, Okafor, and I guess who is number 3 here? We should know who that is. Is that Gerald Wallace, maybe? I don't know. Morrison, Gerald Wallace, and Okor? So, there's some talent there. Hey, I guess the Ohio Bobcats kind of have a clean aesthetic there for their football jersey. It did get a little bit better here in some ways. I don't know. Cats, that's not great. That's not great. The turquoise and the dark blue is not looking. Honestly, the pink ones here are pretty sick. Whatever this is, they should have rocked that a little bit more, I guess. Oh, that's Ohio Bobcats. Shout out. It's not state, so we can shout them out. Yeah, this chat. Hey, yo. This is interesting. Am I talking myself back into it? I don't know. Megan, maybe it's just the 2000s. It does have a little bit of that Warriors, that we believe Warriors energy. 04 Morrison chat. Hey, yo. A 2007 Jason Richardson. This might not be bad. This would be pretty fun. I guess I would take a Gerald Wallace jersey too. Hey, yo. I guess we had to clarify what we were saying there, but a Gerald Wallace jersey. Hey, yo, chat. IT's gonna have to fix the second TV. This is not good. I guess it's just background problems, but we had to snap there in frustration. Our apologies, chat. We're sorry you had to see that. But Bobcats. What do you say, Gerald Wallace jersey? Here we go. Oh, a Gerald Henderson would be good as well too. Okay, yeah, chat. This is not bad, honestly. There is something here. Gerald Wallace. Hey, yo. I guess we didn't recognize him without the headband, chat. But, or the number 45 as well, too. I guess I did forget he wore a number 3. I guess with all due respect to MJ and Gerald Wallace and all the great number 45s out there. Hey, yo. Maybe 45 is not a great number, but it's not a great-looking jersey number in the NBA. I don't know if I would want to rock a number 45. But a number 3 is definitely pretty cool. And the slanted... I don't know. There is something about the slanted jersey number that is kind of cool there. The pinstripe's not bad either. The Pacers pinstripes are pretty iconic. The Magic's pinstripes as well. They have the dark blue, the white pinstripes as well. I don't mind the gray blue is just a weird color. So I don't really know how I feel. The gray, blue, and the orange. It's just a weird vibe. But oh, Steven Jackson, a Bobcats Steven Jackson jersey as well. But I guess you'll see us in a Gerald Wallace. What's the most random jersey we can get, chat? A Bobcats Gerald Wallace is definitely getting up there as well too. Fourth quarter underway, chat. Knicks up by 12. 85-73. But either way, here, wait, Gerald Wallace stats. What do we got here? Did he start off on the Celtics or what? Oh no, Sacramento for 3 years. Did not do much. So I guess he's and then to Charlotte, and then I guess he ended in Boston. Hey yo, he started off we started off watching him in Boston, I guess is really what it was. But Charlotte, couple of defensive player of the year nods. 18 points a game in 06-07, 50% from the field, multiple seasons. Chat, hey yo, maybe Gerald Wallace played too early. Put him in the modern NBA. Just needed a little bit of spacing, and he could have played some defense, and he'd been a menace defensively. And then he's attacking the basket. Put him in. Is Gerald Wallace not Aaron Gordon in 2020? Skinny Aaron Gordon, chat. Ayo, what's Aaron Gordon like? 250 something, 6'7", 215 for Gerald Wallace. Aaron Gordon 6'8", 235. Both of them like kind of crazy, crazy dunker type guys. So I mean, again, anybody with Jokic is going to be able to up their offensive production. But put Gerald Wallace in the dunker spot in Denver. Hey yo, Gerald Wallace is, I guess, still 18 a game and probably 50% of the field. But Gerald Wallace might have been actually might have made an All-Star team if that was possible. When did he make an All-Star team? It would have been 09-10. He was 48% of the field, 37% from three. I guess he never took more than 3.5 a game in 07-08, 19 a game. So these couple of years here, 18, 19, 16, 18 a game. A 4-year run for Gerald Wallace. 49% from the field, 33% from three, 18 a game, 8 rebounds, 18 and 8. And again, multiple all defensive teams as well too. 2 defensive teams in that stretch. Defensive first team, 3rd in defensive player of the year voting, and an all-star in 9-10. Who was defensive player of the year that year? Was that like a Joakim Noah? Was it the year he won? LeBron MVP. Tyreek Evans rookie of the year over Steph Curry. Hey yo, that definitely looks pretty tough on paper. I got to tell you that. Steph Curry, how many games did he play his rookie year? Oh, Chad, he played 80 games. It wasn't until his 3rd year when he really missed a lot of time, I guess, the 26 games. Of course, it just happened to be the year that Klay Thompson was going into the draft. I guess we can't complain because, we may be looking at our own version of it here with the Spurs, with obviously, some of the lottery luck that they've had in the past couple of years. But for Steph anyways, hey, yo, I guess, people really loving the Tyreek Evans season that year. What was it numbers wise? Steph was just better number. That's just a miss, chat. It is what it is. Did Sacramento win some games? Tyreek Evans was 20% from 20 points a game. I guess he was 25 and 5. 25 rebounds, 20 points, 5 rebounds, and almost 6 assists. So you do have to give him that. But Steph had the same amount of assists, 1 less rebound per game, 1 less shot per game, but he was, doubly better from 3. And Tyreek Evans, more win shares, better win percentage per. So I guess in year 1, again, you're not necessarily knowing that Steph Curry is going to be, arguably the greatest guard of all time when he's a rookie. That would have been definitely a hot take. If Mark Jackson almost got fired for saying that they were the best shooting backcourt of all time. It was like, well, this guy clearly knows nothing about basketball. Get him out of here. And it's like, hey, yeah, it turns out, look who was right, Mark Jackson. But again, there is some stat stuff here to suggest that Tyreek Evans could have had a better rookie year than Steph, but that's a tough one to look back and see. I got to tell you that. Brandon Jennings, Darren Collison. Oh, Johnny Flynn, Minnesota. They almost made the right pick, chat. People forget that Johnny Flynn got 2 Rookie of the Year votes this year. Hey, yo, he was the all-rookie team. Unfortunately, that was the peak of powers. 13 points a game, 41% from the field. So definitely getting some opportunity there in Minnesota. And then was playing overseas by 12-13. Hey, yo, I guess 3 seasons, because these are just trade seasons here. And then that 3rd season, 29 games. So basically 2 seasons worth of games, almost, is what we got. Yeah, 163 games. So, you know, 2 games. I guess 82 games puts you at what, 164? So, barely got to 2 seasons of games played. But shout out, he got some Rookie of the Years. And Taj Gibson, who played, you know, 20 years as well. But I guess the point is Dwight Howard won Defensive Player of the Year that year. Josh Smith was second. Oh, chat, a Josh Smith Atlanta. I guess we can't get a Gerald Wallace Atlanta before we get a Joe Johnson Atlanta. Or a Ginobili Argentina, chat. Hey, yo. I guess, or a Ginobili Spurs as well. But can we get a Joe Johnson vintage Atlanta Hawks jersey? Because speaking of era jerseys, this is a tough design as well too. Not a good design, I mean. This is or the old ones are a tough design. Like this one here. That's tough, but this is tough. And that's tough. I guess, you know, obviously words just mean everything now. It is what it is. But yeah, like here we go. If we could get this Joe Johnson but the 80s Hawks, oh, chat. That's not bad. The dark blue is iconic enough, like from this era, that I would get it again just because it's of that era. But I mean, this is clean, chat. This is clean. I don't know what this yellow one is here. Is that like the Peachtree edition stuff that they go for? But there's a pinstripe one as well too. But yeah, we would definitely have to get. Like I said in the past, but the Dominique Atlanta, I would definitely consider that. Or a Gervin, chat. Hey, yo, we get a Gervin Spurs. Did Joe Johnson autograph this George Gervin jersey? What's going on here? It says Joe Johnson autographed something. But, yeah, we can get a Joe Johnson Hawks jersey. I guess, a Ginobili Spurs jersey is pretty basic. As much as we love Manu, and as much as, for, Ayo, chat, jersey, here we go. As much as it is cool. Okay, here's one with like some Argentina stripes on it. That's not bad. The gray is kind of cool. Again, like the iconic black Spurs jersey is great. Nothing can, get past that for on the court. But for Rock, ooh, they do have a Ginobili in the Fiesta, chat. Uh-oh. I see myself making a purchase. Here we go. Ginobili Team Argentina. Etsy. Custom stitched. How much is this right here? Hey, yo, $58, chat. It's a steal. Hey, yo, look at this. Are we allowed to wear this, on national holidays? We're going to be celebrating Memorial Day in our Ginobili Argentina jersey. But it is what it is. This is clean right here. So this is number 1 on our list, Joe Johnson Hawks. And then we can get our Gerald Wallace Bobcats jersey. I guess because, we got the Wemby jersey that's also a Lonnie Walker jersey, but it's also a Wemby jersey as well too. If you show it like this and it's a number 1, it's a Wemby jersey. If you flip it around and it says Lonnie Walker the 4th, well then it belongs to Lonnie Walker the 4th. But also Wemby wears number 1. Lonnie Walker is gonna be the last guy that hey yo, it is what it is. Like Lonnie Walker is gonna be the last guy to wear a Spurs jersey ever. Because Wembanyama's gonna get it retired. So I guess unless somebody wears it right after Wemby. Or, obviously, we hate to say it, but we're not even going to think about the other scenarios. But, hey, Wemby gets traded or something. Wemby requests a trade. Wemby would never request a trade, chat, right? Right? Oh, tell us we're right, please. But, imagine, chat. I honestly, could I watch the NBA? Imagine. That would be tough. I'd be like, I'm watching Australia. We're going to start watching Australian basketball on the live. We're doing weird time live streams at like 2 in the morning trying to follow Australian basketball leagues, and all of a sudden we become big pickleball fans. Maybe we really would start investing in UFA as well too. Ultimate Frisbee Corner just really starts to become the whole podcast at that point because we just can't watch the NBA anymore. Only classic games on the pod. It's like, hey yo, the NBA died in 2035 when Wemby asked for a trade. Hey yo, it's like, I guess that sounds like a video game intro or something, or like a Batman. I guess Gotham never like dies out, does it? In Batman, it does in the Snyder cut. Hey yo, in the nightmare sequence, you do get a crumbled Gotham in that situation, unfortunately. But for some sort of situation, that'd be like the start. It would be like the day everything went wrong was the day that Wemby got traded. I mean, again, the Kawhi Leonard one was bad. That was bad. But it did get a little bit more like, hey, yo, screw that guy. And I don't know, we still had pop, like the Spurs infrastructure. We were like, we will be okay. So the DeRozan thing was, maybe not the best long-term trade overall, but we did have the confidence that at some point we would get back on the track. Did we know it was going to be Wembanyama? But now again, if Wemby, and I guess the thing about Kawhi was, as much as he did win that title in Toronto that year, and that was tough to see, like for his career, he never, obviously he wasn't like directly impacting the Spurs, keeping them from winning titles, but he was never out there consistently enough where we were just like painfully reminded all the time of what, like, I guess, the other way to say it would be like, I don't know if we would have wanted to have Kawhi outside of that year that he got traded to Toronto. Like, he might have been playing with a little bit of a vengeance as well, too, against San Antonio, so there is that, but whatever it was, it wore off after that pause. And, the years that he had on the Clippers, as bad as San Antonio's years were, like, I mean, again, like, all of the years that we had, like, the path led to this team that we have now. Not even just Wemby, but again, Castle and Harper and the whole scenario surrounding it. All of the pieces are the reason that, they're making the title run. But for, the Clippers, again, they traded everything to get Kawhi. So not only do they not have anything to show for the past couple of years, they don't have really, what are they going to have to show for the years going forward as well, too? That was going to be making up for, it's like, well, we can be bad in the 2030s because we're going to be so good in the 2020s, with all these superstars. That the fans are going to be feasting on these titles for so many years that we can have some bad years in the 2030s and make up for it. It's like, well, actually, unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. But for the Spurs, I mean, the simple way to say it is, again, we just would not have wanted to have those Kawhi Leonard years. We're good. We're good with the way things turned out, but we're just good not having to deal with that as well too. And again, we would definitely have taken the title in 2018. But also, does he win a title in San Antonio going through the West? Like, is he able to get a title going through the East? I mean, it was tough that year. Like, he did, of course, face that is probably one of the better Eastern Conference runs that we have seen, figuring the fact that he played, Giannis, and you give Embiid his credit as well too. And it was the divisional round, so divisional round Embiid, that's a good. But that was basically, again, the bounce of a basketball away from Embiid being in the conference finals that year. Maybe he loses to Giannis in the conference finals, but that team could have been better than the Bucks as well too. So maybe they lose to the Warriors in the finals. Who knows? But maybe Philly wins the finals that year. Maybe whoever wins that series wins the finals. That's not too crazy to think of, especially if the Warriors are hurt as well. But what are we saying here? I just looked at the Gerald Wallace jersey and was like, what does this have to do with the Gerald Wallace jersey? I am not sure. But for the playoff run, for Kawhi, for how the things turned out, I guess is, we were saying if Wemby gets traded, that's going to be tough. Because the basketball, it was never tough to watch Kawhi. Kawhi was definitely good when he was out there, but the overall experience never feel like we were missing out. I imagine if Wemby gets traded, then it's going to feel like we're missing. We're going to be like, and then he's going to be, he's going to be kicking everybody's butts. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy what he's doing. Like, again, we said on the last live stream that if OKC traded for Giannis, as much as that would probably be a better overall basketball situation if they have Jalen Williams, because Chet's gonna get traded in that situation, but if they have Shea, Jalen, and Giannis, like, we would still rather have Wemby than all three of those guys. It's like, I guess all three is getting crazy, but two, Shea and Giannis, like, I don't think there is a two-person combo in the league that you would take over Wemby, if that makes it. Has there ever been a guy like that in NBA history? I mean, I guess maybe Jordan and LeBron at their primes, maybe Steph. But even LeBron had Steph in correlation to him. So I guess, is it Wemby's fault that he doesn't have anybody on his level? What are we saying about our guy over here? But again, like, would you have if you were maybe not if you were Cleveland because of the emotion, again, like, LeBron's your guy at that point, but would you have traded Steph and Clay for LeBron? I don't know. That's a tough one because we never really truly got the tiebreaker between those three guys. Again, Durant ruined with Durant obviously stepping in and, messing up the competitive balance. It did change things there a little bit. But if LeBron, with the shorthanded team, they lost the first one and then was able to get the comeback and win the second one. in that third battle, there's really no telling what could have happened. Do we have to simulate a fall series, chat? Hey, yo. Redo the league if Durant stays on the Thunder. When we build our AI to simulate the NBA, I guess how many years can we get that running before then the AI becomes independent and then just takes over? We'll have a good 2.5 year run of simulating NBA games, and all of a sudden, bam, the AI will break out, and then all of a sudden we're gone. But until then, we can re-simulate the league if Durant's on the OKC there. I mean, we forget how fun that league that year would have been as well too. Because think about the storylines. Think about the storylines. You have both historic 3-1 comebacks, so you would have all of those teams out for revenge in some ways. And even again, the Warrior, even the Cavs. Hey, what team was LeBron? Even the Cavs would have some type of, there would be that, okay, we at least between Steph and LeBron. Anyways, maybe not the teams, but maybe Steph and LeBron would have that narrative of, okay, we need to settle it once and for all. Like we need that third battle. But then you would also have Durant in there as well too. And then the Kawhi factor would have mattered so much more. Like the Spurs would have just been, the Spurs might have been the best team in the West that year if Durant is on OKC. I mean, that's just a bad matchup for the Spurs as well. But you have Kawhi who's able to guard Durant, but Westbrook probably kills the Spurs as much as, because I think that Kawhi, it would have been interesting seeing Kawhi guard Steph without Durant at that time. And then I don't know what we would have done with Klay. Like Jonathan Simmons would have been our Klay Thompson guy, or Steph has to guard Klay if he's cooking. Now all of a sudden, it's Jonathan Simmons and Corey Joseph and 40-year-old Ginobili trying to guard Steph. But so again, that would have been tough. But I do think that the Thunder would have been a little bit more of an issue for the Spurs. And then plus, the front court, you get Ibaka and stuff in there as well. And, Ibaka over Draymond. That's not what we're saying. But just matchup. I mean, Draymond would have killed us as well too back then. But what are we saying for Aldridge? I don't know. Aldridge would have held up against both those guys. Pretty good. Maybe Draymond would have been worse against Aldridge because he was they're both good defensively back then. But Draymond would have been a better defender either way. We can't forget how good Draymond was defensively back then. But he was at times, again, Kawhi would have been the best defensive player in the league, but there were nights where it's like, oh, is it Draymond? But then Kawhi would just go out and just rip like 6 passes away from people. And just like there would be like whole quarters where guys couldn't even, whole quarters might be an exaggeration, but there would just be whole stretches of games where guys couldn't even dribble up the court. And it's like Kawhi's just, the people aren't even getting into their offense because Kawhi's just not even letting that happen. Versus, Draymond. Okay, is it different if you're the last line of defense and defending the basket versus Kawhi's not even letting people get across half court? But regardless, that would have been a crazy year. And then DeRozan's Raptors would have been fun as well, too. A regular season team. Hey, we just got to mention them. But those 4 teams competing and that would have been, again, as good of a West as we've ever had that year. But then, I mean, just, completely traded. And then Paul George, they traded for Paul George, right? That would have been the next year, right? Did he have that full season without Paul George? And then they traded for him the next year? Yeah, so maybe the next year, Paul George gets traded to a different team. Who knows? I guess you would have had, but if Kawhi doesn't get traded, either way, there's obviously multiple ripple effects that happen. But it works out. The league is fun. The Spurs are good now, so it's all good. But regardless, that would be tough. So I don't know. Again, I don't know how we got to here with Wemby requesting a trade. Just us discussing our worst fears, I guess, as the series takes over, or as the Spurs Thunder series plays out. But Harden for 3 in the corner. Hey, cuts to single digits. A 10-point game. Okay, did we finally lock in, chat? 5 minutes left. Hey, yo. Oh, Bridges getting a little, almost losing the basketball out of bounds there on the inbound. Hey, yo. So hopefully the Knicks don't give up the game in the way that they gave up, in the way the Cavs gave up the game last time. Oh, Brunson giving James Harden a little pause, a taste of his own medicine. I guess James Harden more with the step back stuff, but Brunson just lowered the shoulder on him. Hey, definitely a little bit of a Harden flop as well too. But I mean, an aggressive, not even push off, a shoulder off. I don't know if that's a pause or not, but most of the time the push off is with the forearm. That is definitely the differentiator between Brunson and Shea. Brunson will use the forearm, but Brunson will lean in. Oh yeah, Brunson will give you the shoulder right there. Brunson doesn't care, but he's a little more physical. He's a little more built to maybe move a guy in that type of way as well too. You know, Shea kind of needs to change your center of gravity, get you off balance, versus, you know, Brunson can just knock you off balance as well too. He has kind of the strength and you know, sort of the you know, the pit bull body to be able to do that. I feel like we've heard somebody compare him to a pit bull before, so, you know, we're not that's like a subconscious thing that is just in there. So you know, hopefully that's okay. But that's a compliment, right? Because we you know, this is a pro. Obviously, that they're the best. So, you know, we love it. But you know, and we're pro Brunson. So hopefully it's you know, it's all in good favor. But for the Knicks, anyways, the free throws there give them a 12-point lead. The first free throws of the half, 17 and a half for Cleveland. So I guess in some ways that's kind of kept it close for them. If they just haven't, didn't see how many they made there, but it didn't seem like they had a good percentage of them as well. So if they had made a couple more, they actually would have had the opportunity to get back in it. And Hart with the spinning floater across the lane. I guess like we said in the first half, it was Hart, Bridges, and Towns that were doing the scoring. So what is Hart up to now at this point? Oh, Mitchell's up to 23 as well. Harden at 15. Josh Hart, 26. The Josh Hart game, 10 for 20 from the field. Brunson, Anunoby, chat. He was going in for something dramatic and forgot to take the basketball with him. So, you know, cue up Shaq and the Fool after this, unfortunately. It is what it is. Oh, Josh Hart, he's bringing the energy, chat. He's bringing the energy. But, yeah, and 7 assists as well, too. So, definitely the second. I guess Towns is 18 and 13 on 7 for 12. So, again, just everybody's playing well. If Cleveland wins this game, that's definitely a bad job by the Knicks, and probably Brunson just missing shots down the end here, because everybody on paper is playing crazy. Bridges 8 for 10. This is like the best offensive game, just efficiency-wise, that they played in a long time. Where are they at? Chad, are the Knicks gonna win the finals? What's going on here? Are they the best team, or they have the easy path? 52-37, 40% from the free throw line. Somehow they're 4 for 10. And yeah, Cleveland 66%, so 19 for 29. Give them 8 more makes. You know, at least it's a little bit closer here. But 86-100. I guess we got Knicks free throws going in. Oh, does Mitchell miss this free throw? What's going to happen here? Spoiler alert. Oh! Right off the front of the rim. Pause. Towns with the rebound out to Brunson. So, yeah, that makes it the 19 for 29 there. And I guess, do we get a free throw? Because, yeah, they're at 99. So we're peeking ahead. We know that there's going to be something. Oh, Mitchell just clobbers Brunson. Did they call him for a foul there? I guess they must have, because like we're saying, we're getting the free throws. That didn't look too bad. I guess maybe Mitchell did get a little bit aggressive there at the end, but I thought he got oh no, he got body there going in for the basketball initially. I say he did get the basketball, but he played through his hip. I don't even know if that's reffing terminology, but he didn't go around him. He went through him. Pause to get there. 24 points, 5 fouls, though, so now he's 1 away from missing the rest of the game. But 14 points, 4 minutes. It's going to be maybe just a little bit out of reach here. They're going to need a James Harden flurry of threes to get in. Or Max Strus to finally hit one. Where's he at? 1 for 6 tonight. Sam Morril, 0 for 7. And Jalen Tyson, 0 for 3, chat. Yikes. This is not good. So, again, the Cavs, you know, really not testing our worries at all for them making the finals. They're playing themselves right out of it. This is fine. I mean, hopefully the Cleveland fans, you know, get something competitive viewing wise, because at least in New York, again, the New York fans, they show up, they watch their team play well. A good game for them is what they want to see. You know, Cleveland, I guess we want some energy for the Cleveland fans in the games there. So hopefully the games are close. You know, I don't know if we're being contradictory or not. You know, do we want good games, but we don't want Cleveland to win? I feel like that's a fair request. But, you know, Mitchell at home, a chance for a couple good playoff games. And they haven't played good on the road at all in the playoffs. The fact that they just kind of randomly played good at the road at the end of the series against Detroit, and Detroit, you know, not having the best offensive performances as well, too, is definitely, you know, a little bit random in some ways. But, you know, maybe they get back, and do they, you know, I don't think they win the 2 in a row at home. But they definitely, you know, have a chance to make it even in that first energy game back with the crowd going crazy and just the advantage that, again, being in Cleveland does give them. But Brunson attacking the basket, 103-86. So it's looking like New York is going to close this one out. I guess we don't know what was the time. Oh, it was the last 7 minutes because we saw that stat earlier. So the timestamp for Cleveland to have already started to make their historic 44-11 run would have been now. But like we said, if we're going to need new versions of the stats, so what are teams' records when they're up by 17? Ayo, up by 17 with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. Are they, 0 in teams down, or I guess teams down by 17 with 3.5 minutes left, or 0 and 532 up until right now. And now Cleveland's going to make the crazy comeback. So the only ones playing well tonight are, and Mobley has kind of, I guess, chilled out for the second half. He hasn't really done much. What was his first half total? I feel like we looked it up and he was the high scorer in kind of the teens there. But again, at least it's good on paper anyways, but for the game, kind of 14, 6, and 3 is a little low key. And then Jared Allen 5 for 10 as well. And then Mitchell kind of, upping his game in the second half, at least keeping it a little bit close. But yeah, this is tough, chat. This is this is a rebuild the team type of situation. And that is another, again, weird thing as well too, where you're just like, if they lose this series and their team's just gonna not be together next year, is this team capable of winning the series in some ways? And again, like if New York maybe, but again, like they're going Giannis if they're making something different. It's like Towns for Giannis. They're not, I don't think, trading Bridges for 2 role guys, and maybe Anunoby. Maybe they turn Anunoby into something else just to get a fresh look if they feel like they need to do something different if they come up short this year. Because losing the finals, obviously would be a bit of a bummer for this Knicks fan base. Are they going to get back that far down the playoffs twice? Hey yo, I guess maybe New York should be able to, but there obviously is not that guarantee if the Dolan team is going to be able to manage that. But for for what they're doing, like it does seem like that would be probably the way they would feel about it. But for New York, yeah, all 5 starters, 10 plus points. I guess the Cavs 4 for 23 from 3-point to start, so they were 5 for 10. I guess kind of performing a little bit. But here we go. Strus, his first make of the night. Nope, not even close. Way off to the left. Hart with the rebound. 3 minutes left. You can already see the Cavs are taking the game off. Hey, I think Mitchell's done. He has to guard Josh Hart, who is like the most trying player right now in the game. And I don't know if he's going to necessarily lock in for that. Brunson headed to the free throw line. Hey, yo. So was that an off the ball foul? Strus, maybe he needs to turn the headband upside down for the next game. Go, Caruso with it. Hey, yo. David or Alex? Who are we talking about, Chad? I guess Alex is the one that wears the headband upside down, but I guess that was kind of a tough one. The Mitchell one was just crossed the line from like being a borderline, iffy call. It was like, okay, whatever the percentage is for iffy call, it's just outside of that. But that does seem like it's getting there. I mean, you're not supposed to be able to just like necessarily, tackle a guy while he's going in for a screen. But, some level of physicality is probably, okay. Especially, I don't know, down 18 in the fourth quarter. Give him a play. Hey, yo, give him a play. It's okay. But now it's starting to push 20. The largest lead of the game for the Knicks. So, continuing to add to that historic, playoff point differential anyways. And now all of a sudden, is this Knicks playoff run going to be one of the great playoff runs that we've ever seen? They could go 4 games against the 4 games in round 2, 4 games in round 3. I guess they did go 2 games in round 1, and then maybe, I would imagine at least 6, probably 7 in the finals, whoever they play. They do have a little bit of an advantage over the Spurs though. Like would at its shortest, could they get us in 5? Like I don't think they would. I don't think Castle and I guess it would depend on Spurs injuries as well too. If the Spurs keep getting hurt, then we might not even we'd obviously be compromising the series that we're in right now. But in a potential Knicks matchup as well, too, either one would obviously be tough. Mitchell at the free throw line. I guess it's 20 points. They're done, Chad. They're done. Hey, yo. It is what it is. Is Kenny Atkinson going to put in the bench? That would be like a fire me move right there. If a coach ever puts in the bench during a playoff game, that is basically just asking to be let go at that point. Or, if it's good, if it's like, Steve Kerr putting in the bench because the Warriors have opened up a 40-point lead, then that's one thing. Or, if Mike Brown subs in the bench at some point, I guess you wouldn't right now. You're probably going to let them play out the whole game. I guess, but they did get Atlanta. So they had probably the one bench situation. And I don't know if OKC hasn't had that yet, maybe. If we're talking about what have the win streaks, what have the teams done? They both have had the impressive win streaks. Obviously now, the New York stretches it longer. 9 in a row as well as got to be starting to get up into the record territory. But I don't think OKC has quite had maybe they did against the Lakers. But they were more like 20, or who did they play? Who did they play in round 1, Chat? Hey, yo. The Lakers in round 2. Who did they play in round 1? I know we just looked up their playoff run earlier. But let's see what we got here for the Thunder. Was it Phoenix? They played Phoenix in round 1? Am I forgetting about that? Oh, it was Phoenix. Phoenix, Lakers, and now San Antonio, where, again, they did drop the game there. But for New York, again, the case would obviously be, level of competition for some of the playoff runs. Though we would have to look back and see what we'd be looking at for, that scenario, point differential and sort of level of competition. Because I would say that would be the definition of a great playoff run, hot take. But, a dramatic playoff run is different than a great playoff run. I guess, again, like Halliburton's playoff run last year was a great playoff run. And it would be in the best playoff runs in a different type of way. But in terms of, like, the best, arguing, like, best team performances, it wouldn't obviously be that. It's a different type of drama, a different type of better, it's a different individual clutchness. It's a different type of thing than this team went out and dominated every game. The first one I always think of is when Moses Malone, rest in peace, he had I forget if he says fee fi fo or does he say fo fi? Yeah, it's like 4 games, 5 games, 4 games or something when he predicts the series. And I think he ended up getting it backwards. It was like 5 games, 4 games, 5 games or something like that. But maybe I'm reversing it. I don't know. I'm, double backwards, pause. But I always think of that team as just dominant team because he also called his shot a little bit as well too, where he's like, yeah, we're going to rip through this playoffs, and they just did it. So that might be one of the coldest ones. But, obviously there's going to be Jordan teams. There are going to be Magic teams, Celtics teams in there. Maybe not Celtics teams. I don't know if the Celtics ever, like, rips through the league like that. That the Celtics team that won with Pierce and Garnett, like, that was a great playoff run because, like, every series they were in went to 7. But, again, you wouldn't say that would be the argument for, is that, like, one of the worst finals? Like, if the Pacers did win the finals last year, like, maybe you would have said, like, an all-time, in our all-time AI situation, like, maybe just Halliburton just has the capability. The sim just runs it, so it's like, okay, every game, Halliburton in the sim is just hitting a game winner. It's like, okay, like, it was close to that in 2025, but not quite. But, again, maybe they have that, I guess, random ability against everybody. But if the Pacers had won the finals, you would have said it would have been respectfully one of the quote-unquote worst finals teams to have won. Again, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying if we're ranking the finals teams, you wouldn't put them way, way up on the list. They'd probably be one of the farther ones down. Brunson with 19 and 14 assists. So they do get the bench, chat. They do get the bench with less than a minute left. Oh, a minute 15. Whoa! 75 seconds of subs, chat. Pause. Hey, yo. Whoa. Mitchell and Harden stunned. Actually, Harden doesn't look stunned at all. Harden looks very, very comfortable with the situation. I'm not going to lie. Mobley looks a little bummed out. Mitchell honestly looks like he might request a trade. I'm not going to lie. Mitchell's like, oh, I'm living in Cleveland? Hey, yo, sorry to Cleveland. We love Cleveland. We love Cleveland. We're just talking about from Donovan Mitchell's perspective, right? That's it. Obviously, personally, I would move to Cleveland tomorrow if I had the opportunity to. But since I don't, we'll talk from the Donovan Mitchell perspective, and I don't know if does Donovan Mitchell want to be there? Hey, yo, we start doing Donovan Mitchell trade talk. Oh, who just jacked up that 3 right away? That's always, of course, the, if it's not a play, it's like who's gonna be the teammate and who's gonna be like, okay, I'm shooting this. I'm in the game. We've got 75 seconds here. I guess you do have Alvarado and Shamit both kind of can get in the game, and McBride as well too. Like all those guys could get in the rotation, so they might not be, the needing to shoot it right away. Pause. Who was the guy that subbed in and jacked this up? Hey yo, who do we have? Was it Deontay, chat? I think it was our guy Deontay. Ayo, shout out. So you love to see the confidence. Unfortunately, he missed. So 0 for 1, -2 in the game. But 20 seconds left, I guess, on the feed here. Spike Lee on the feet. The New York, I guess, faithful, everybody on their feet. I mean, just Spike Lee taking a standing ovation as a fan before everybody. I mean, he might as well. But the standing ovation for the Knicks. So there we go. 2 games in Madison Square Garden. 9 in a row now for New York in the playoffs is pretty impressive. The Cavs bench doesn't even run a pass. Kevin Porter, Craig Porter. He's not even dribbling. He's just standing there. The ref's going to let him walk around as well, too. It doesn't matter. Time runs out. Game over. New York, the domination continues, chat. 109-93. Hey, yo. So, I mean, like we're saying, it looks like we're on a good track, at least for the New York side of things. And at the end of the day, the Western Conference matchup is going to be a good matchup for whoever is in there. As long as New York gets in the finals, we are good for an entertainment value standpoint. So 2-0 going back to Cleveland does seem like a pretty good advantage. Now again, I guess we could double check the Cavs stats here real quick in terms of what they have done at home and on the road in the playoffs here for this. Of course, 7 games in both series as well too. So I guess that's what happens when you don't win a single game on the road for a while. And I guess, had that Raptors series at home, so they were able to take advantage of that that way there. But yeah, somehow we're able to go on the road and win Game 5 and Game 7 against Detroit. Again, Game 7 was maybe a little more on Detroit as well too, as much as it was, Cleveland kind of stepping up and performing. Even some of the Cleveland numbers, 32% from 3. I guess they haven't really been good for 3 in the last couple of games. Detroit 35% from the field and 30% from 3 is obviously crazy. Sasser 3 for 12 in this game. Dennis Jenkins 4 for 12. Unfortunately, I mean, even Cade 0 for 7 from 3. We can't leave him out. It is Dennis Jenkins 7 for 8 from the free throw line, actually the lead scorer in the game with 17 points in that Game 7. But again, I guess it's not like looking at the Cavs had like the crazy great performance. It was Morel with the 5 for 8, and then Mitchell stepping up as well too. Mobley did play well, 7 for 10, 6 for 11 from the free throw line. So where is he at right now in the playoffs? Again, you can't necessarily say that like, Mobley's fingerprints are all over this series. But does the glove fit Mobley, chat? Whoa. But his numbers do, I guess, all the regular season numbers, I would say they do look pretty good. But he is at, I guess, basically the same. He's been basically the same player for 3 years and three straight playoffs. Mid-50s% from the field, I guess mid-40s-ish, and then, 16 a game, 17 a game. He was 17.1 last year points per game. He is 16.9 this year. Free throw percentage a little lower. So the free throw attempts going up anyways is something. Like there is an extra aggression there. And he is 4 assists a game as well too. So we do got to give him credit. Like he is playing better in this playoffs overall. But again, I can't say that he's looked like one of the 15 best players in the league at a given time when, he's been on fire. He definitely, again, he'll have his moments when he's looking good, looking impactful, and you can see the talent that is there. But like we're saying, I don't know if it's overall like affecting the opinion of him in a major like trade value conversation type of way. But regardless, I guess the point was to look up the Cavs home road stats more so than to the Rem and Sam pod rips apart Evan Mobley. But what do we got here for? Oh, I guess we did. We looked up the Game 5 and 7 for the Pistons. So being back at home of course, will be a big advantage for this team. But we do, of course, get back to the Western Conference tomorrow night. Spurs versus Thunder. So don't forget to join us there. It's going to be exciting. The first game back in San Antonio, what's real in this series? The Spurs with the dramatic Game 1 win. The Thunder being able to bounce back and everybody playing well for their team in Game 2. Are the Thunder just the crazy, historic performing team? Are the Spurs going to ascend next, chat? Every game gets a little bit more anticipated for this series, but there's a reason that I think we're, in for it all. We're in the midst of it. We're in the midst of an all-time series. It really is. I feel like the last game, it held up. I guess if this game is going to determine whether or not it's an all-time series, I don't know if we can say that. But either way, we're going to be excited to watch it. It's going to be quality. Both these teams are good. Both these teams are locked in. The competitiveness is there. Wemby versus Shea. So, be back. Join us here on the YouTube. You can follow us on the podcast feeds. You can hit us up, of course, with a little message on REMINGTOM Pod on Instagram if you want to connect with us over there as well, too. That is the place to do it. So, join us tomorrow night. We'll be back watching the game. You can hang out with us here. We'll see y'all later. Peace.